How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. For today's video, well, first off, we're going to use an old, block-in of a painting that never was. We're going to use that as a surface. It's always very nice to paint on top of old paintings. I don't know how much we're going to use the colors that are in here. Maybe they'll pop up like somewhere around the painting and they can be really nice. So that's what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna be like a nice portrait and a nice big shape of hair, and we're just gonna use hair as an excuse to think about design. I mean, it's gonna be a pyramid shape with a rounded tip. I feel that's gonna be our painting. It's gonna be very simple, but I think we're gonna have fun, with the shapes within the hair. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But first thing we're gonna do, Danny, we forgot about this, but we're gonna do our raffle.
Oh yeah. Hey
So
everyone.
yeah, and so Danny's here. So first painting we're gonna raffle off is amongst, or actually the one that we have in the Tupperware.
This one?
Yeah. That's of the supporters that donated.
Donations?
Yeah, the
Okay.
donations. So let's do that one first, and then
Okay.
we'll pick a winner, and then we take all the little
So
papers out, and then we fill them with the people that bought the
do
paintings.
you need me to go there or do you choose the paper?
No, I'll choose it right, like
Okay.
right here. So this is for. Let me show you guys the painting. I posted this one this morning. It's a little painting of Fer. I thought it came out really nice. So this will be raffled amongst the people that donated. We're a little bit late with this raffle, but donated $20 or more during the month of October. And if you're interested in donating, you just go to ourpaintedlives.com, and there's a tab for donations, and all you got to do is donate $20 or more, and you can get one of these paintings at the end of the month. So the raffle we're going to do is for this painting. So here's people that donated. Let me see. And we'll FedEx the painting anywhere in the world. So
Yeah, and the shipping is on us.
yeah, shipping is
So
on us. So if you donate, shipping, just so you know, from here, usually to the US, it's around $60, and to other places around the world, it's like $90. So we subsidize that very happily. Okay, gonna pick. I'm closing my eyes.
okay.
Okay, this is the winner, Amy Gustafson. So AJ,
Woo!
woo! So AJ,
Congratulations, AJ.
painting of Fed is heading your way. Put AJ's name here. And Danny, could we get rid of these and
Yep.
put those
Okay,
other
wait.
ones in?
Okay, wait. So
Yeah. It's easier for me to pick from the. There we go.
there you go.
And for this painting,
I'll grab it.
yeah,
Don't worry.
brush came flying out. And for this painting of Aldous Huxley, this is a painting that will be raffled amongst the people that bought paintings. So if you support us by buying one of our paintings, one of our daily paintings, like the one that we're going to do today, by the end of the month, you don't have to do anything else. I'll just make another painting and we raffle it off amongst the people that bought paintings. So it's pretty simple. So this Aldous Huxley, which is amazing. Perennial Philosophy. If you've never read that book, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. Changed my life. So these are the people that bought paintings last month. Closing my
Well, that
no.
one. Oh, that would be cool.
That's good. That's
So
good.
stop.
No, we're good.
That one. Yeah.
Okay.
But don't take it.
Again.
Okay, but don't take it out of the camera.
Oh, okay.
So
So
there. Okay.
winner is Regita.
Rajita.
Woo!
Thank you,
Regita
Rajita.
Tipavashala. So Regita, thank you so much. The painting of Huxley will be heading your way. Thank you, Regita. So AJ and Regita, your names are there. I hope that you don't mind that your names are there. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much. Both Danny and I are super grateful with everyone that supports us, if it's through donations or purchasing one of the daily paintings. And we are very, very grateful to the people that can do that, because in many ways they are subsidizing, the content that we do for the people that wouldn't be able to pay for this content if it was, let's say, behind a paywall of some sorts. So thank you so, so much. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to paint on top of this older little block-in. It shouldn't be problematic. A lot of people don't like to paint on top of older paintings. They find them distracting. That's why I kind of flipped it, just so we don't see the design of the painting. I've never been really that weirded out by the fact that there are shapes underneath here. I actually find it exciting. It's not going to be quite the exercise that we do today, but many times I actually feel that it's super cool when you have an image underneath and you can, pick up little things and little spots and then kind of, leave them to air through bits and pieces of your painting. I think it's really, really nice if you do that. Again, today it's not quite going to be the case. I just think it's it's going to be nice to paint on top of a surface, a substrate that already has some paint. That's always really nice. There's not a lot of paint here. The more paint I feel, the better it is. I thought about sanding it off a little bit, but not. It's pretty fine. It's a little scruffy in some areas. There's a little bit of texture in some areas, but not that much. I don't think it's going to be really that relevant in terms of the final texture that we give the painting. So maybe at the beginning, until I cover a bit of the bigger area of the painting, it'll be a little confusing. So just bear with me, and you'll see that eventually you're going to be able to tell the image that we're painting. So let's go ahead and do that.
Um, so
Yes.
Emily is asking, she
Yes,
says,
Emily.
that's such a beautiful painting. Is there a digital version of it? The one you're painting over?
Oh, no. I never finished it. I was doing it for a workshop, and it was just like a demo in the morning that I do. And I would try to finish them off, but this one in particular, I just couldn't finish it off. I mean, it's very nice, and I wanted it to have it was like a late night atmosphere, very, very cool, dominant in terms of temperature, very bluish, purplish, cooler reds, red violets. I just didn't finish it. I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. I'm not sure if I became disinterested, or it's just I was very tired by the end of the workshop, and I felt I'm probably going to finish it later, and I just there's too much work, so I wasn't able to finish it. But hopefully you guys won't miss it that much. Ah, gracias, Samu.
Preguntan, ¿es
Sí.
mejor pintar directamente sobre lo que había antes? Yo siempre lo pinto de blanco.
Si no le incomoda la imagen que hay debajo, no pasa nada, pero no habría necesidad. Y digamos que pintar de blanco significaría, por ejemplo, echar gesso o acrílico blanco, porque óleo blanco pues se demoraría mucho en estabilizarse y en secar. Entonces, no es recomendable, si por ejemplo uno le va a echar gesso acrílico, no es recomendable echar acrílico sobre óleo. Óleo sobre acrílico, perfecto. Acrílico sobre óleo, no, no podemos hacer eso.
So they're asking,
Yes,
our painted lives.
yes,
Ah, no,
that's
our
us.
painted lives will continue next year. Love you, Nicholas and Danny.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
We've
much.
talked about it, and it's gonna be a little more similar to what we're doing right now, maybe with Danny, with a few changes. I feel with a few changes. So we've talked about with Danny. There's going to be a couple of live sessions, and there's going to be this visual kind of exchange that Danny and I, this visual exercise that we're going to do throughout the year.
Correspondence?
Yeah, that like a visual correspondence. So it's very simple to explain it. Simply, it's just going to be, I'm going to do an image, and then Danny is going to see that image on, let's say, Friday or Saturday, and then she'll have till next Saturday to do another image, which will be the answer to my image. And an answer could mean whatever. It doesn't really, matter. It doesn't have to have a narrative. We could just invent a narrative, and she's free to do whatever she wants. So that image, so those two are going to be like a little pair, and then um, I'll see this image and I'll make another one, and then she'll make another one in response,
Yeah.
and then we'll do that every week, and it's going to be kind of cool because by the end of the year, let's say, if we could do it for the whole year, it's going to be like a really interesting visual exchange, and who knows like where the narrative, the meta narrative that's going to be born from that exchange. Where who knows where that will go? But I think it's going to be really, really interesting
Yeah,
where we can take that.
and also we are planning on discussing that too,
Yeah.
like the things we do, but also live.
Yep.
So
Yep.
our painted lives will continue, but it would be more like our painted lives.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
yeah,
Why
so
would you
we're doing
start like
lives.
that the week? Oh God, there's
Yeah.
nowhere lower to go than this.
Yeah, so
Oh my Lord.
yes.
Yeah, kill me now. That
um
was terrible.
but
Don't
it's
encourage her,
true.
by
I
the way.
mean,
Don't encourage her.
yeah, because I'll keep going. Um yeah, so they're saying, "Oh, image conversations.
Right.
Cool."
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Those are super, super cool.
Mm, they're saying paint over sounds really fun. I got to do something like that with old canvas practices. Um and they're asking, "Nicolas, you say you don't use tarp?
No.
What what do you use to wash your brushes between colors and after the painting is finished?"
So between colors, nothing, just a lot of wiping. So I'll have paper towels and I use a lot of wiping, or you can use a rag if you want. Um, and at the end of the session, you can ask Danny. It's what I hate most about my day,
Yeah.
which is washing brushes at night. So
Yeah, and you forgot always. So you're like,
yeah,
"Oh, I have to wash the
yeah.
brushes,"
I
and
always
you're
leave
so
it for
mad.
the last thing I do at night. So
Yeah.
it's
But
always
he
really
uses
maddening.
a
Just
bar
regular
of
bar of
soap.
soap.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll just try to wipe them as much as I can, and then just regular bar of soap, and that's about it.
They're saying, "Love the play on words, Danny.
Oh God,
Thank you
no.
so much."
Yeah, that was such low hanging fruit. That's not even a play on words.
Oh.
Please do not encourage her,
I mean,
please.
you're saying that because I was the one
Oh, because I
who
didn't come
thought
up with
about
that.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
Um so Leech is saying,
Jolich
"Hola, Leech." He says, "What's the reference for today?"
is
Ya la puse. Se me
mi
había olvidado
sobrina.
ponerla, pero ya la puse.
Bueno, bueno.
Pero sí.
So the reference, our good friend Nicolas Lich is asking, is my niece Cristina and her gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous head of hair, which is very similar to mine. I
Mhm.
actually feel could call this a self-portrait. You know.
Um, they're asking, "Do you use a special type of camera to take reference photos of your paintings?"
Yeah, we have. That was our first big investment when we started our painted lives,
Yeah.
which was just buying a good camera with a good lens. So we have a Sony Alpha 7 III,
Yep.
and we have a nice lens, which is a Sony a 55 millimeter 1.8. I think it's a Zeiss lens. So both of those, the coupling of those two things is very good. Our lighting setup, not so much. We haven't really invested a lot of money in that, or no, or none,
Yeah.
to be honest. So it's a mix of available natural light, which I've always worked with. So I think I would be missing it terribly if all I had was artificial light, was let's say a couple of soft boxes, um, and we don't really use our camera to like its fullest potential. If I could be honest, we're not into doing videography or movies or anything like that. We don't even shoot in 4K because we have good computers, good-ish computers,
Yeah.
but we also don't have amazing internet. So editing, Danny can edit, well, even though it takes her like the whole day to edit.
Oh, but for you guys to know, I have changed my computer since the beginning of our painted lives
Oh
three
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's how
She
video
started with
editing
her
is.
old computer, then I got a computer and I gave my old iMac to her, and she was using that iMac
Yeah.
until, it was really really
It sound like a cat,
yeah, yeah, it
remember?
was purring. It was
Yeah.
purring all the time cuz the hard drive I think was just dying. So it was just purring all the time. And
Now I have a MacBook.
yeah, now she has a MacBook.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah, which is really good,
Yeah.
but we're not going to say that it's not good. It's actually a
No,
fantastic
it's
computer,
amazing.
but um, they're all great until you really put them to the test with video editing. And if and when we got your iMac, we got it with a small
My iMac,
SSD.
my
Your
MacBook.
MacBook, yeah, we got it with a small SSD, so 4K video, if you're recording about 4 hours of 4K video, oh my
Yeah,
god.
and also that's the thing because sometimes people don't realize that editing, like we have an edited video of 20 minutes maybe, but
Mhm.
the real footage is maybe 4 or 5 hours. So 45 hours of editing in 4K would like explode my computer. So
Yeah, it would
yeah.
make our apartment warmer.
Yeah.
So, no, so we know how much we can do with what we have. So, our drive wouldn't be big enough to fit all that video. Let's see, the processing would be just it would take a long time.
Yeah.
The uploading of the video with our
Oh,
internet, oh my
oh, and
god.
also that's the other thing because we used to do videos Monday through Friday.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't have space in the computer to edit, for example, Mondays and then have Tuesdays because
yeah.
it would be full. And also, if we have to upload a 4K video, like it would take a day. So I don't have the time to edit and have the video uploading because we do so much videos in a week. So,
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons, and people may not know this, but eventually we just don't have here in Colombia, or at least us, that we're not like a business, but we have like as good as internet as you can get, if you're just a regular person. Um we just it's almost impossible for us to sort of maintain that. We have no backup of any videos.
yeah.
Danny has to delete videos every 2 days, maybe, Danny, or every.
Now I delete every week,
Okay,
but because I delete the footage and just keep like the resulting video, like the edited video,
okay.
and then at the end of the week I delete it.
Yeah, so we
So
have like
yeah, zero
no
backup.
no raw video, no backups.
Yeah.
We don't upload anything to a cloud because, again, how long would that take also? Um so yeah, so we work with what we have, which is great. We're always super super grateful. But we try to make the best out of what we have. But still, if some of you guys are familiar with video editing and uploading videos, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. We don't have servers. We don't have anything like
Yeah.
that. So, and we don't think it'll ever come to, you know, us expanding will never
Oh no.
mean any of those things, I feel. I think we're super comfortable believing that this is just us and we don't want it to be any bigger than what it is. So, um, so yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we've kind of we're slowly migrating to doing live videos,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of like horsepower that we don't have, that you can kind of eliminate if you just if you're just streaming live. We can make our internet better, and like we told you guys the other day, um,
Yeah, we're trying, but the best internet here in Bogota isn't available at our neighborhood right now.
yeah.
So
It's almost like in the US that the Google Fiber one, if you're trying to get that giga, 1 gig up, 1 gig down, it's really cool, but it's not available everywhere. So we got super excited because they're starting to do it here in Bogota. It's actually really competitively priced. It's really well. I don't even know how good it is because maybe we buy it and it
Yeah,
has
and
a
it's
ton of
terrible.
connection issues, or the servers, or they don't have enough servers for that. So who knows? Like, I'm a little bit nervous about the service if we end up going to that service because we know nothing about it. Nothing.
Yeah, but to be honest,
It's a big company still, but
yeah, no,
we have no idea how good it will be.
and the company we're at isn't like that perfect.
Oh yeah.
So
No, yeah. It's an internet provider, so
yeah,
I think you guys already know what that means.
yeah.
So
So this conversation was cool, but
what
he was
what?
talking about the type of camera for reference photos.
Oh, okay.
So
So
yeah,
so that's the
so
camera
that's
we
cool.
use for everything. So the Sony Alpha 7 III.
And you also use your phone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If I'm shooting something, which is I don't think I've shot reference photos with that camera for a very long time. But if I am taking photos of my own paintings, which is honestly what I think I used my camera or my older cameras for, that was the reason for using them the most. Um, it it's yes, it's going to be that camera, but for reference, very quick reference, very useful reference. It's always going to be my phone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Phones now are amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
They have well, phones. I mean, I don't really even care about a phone. I think I don't use it as a phone at all.
But
Probably the least use that it has. It's
like a
it's a
pocket
phone.
camera.
Yeah, yeah, but just the this little computer, Android computer that you have. In our case, it's like WhatsApp. That's our messaging app here in South America. I know that in the U.S. you guys don't use it that much. For the people that are listening in the U.S., listening and watching us in the U.S. I know that that's not super popular. A lot of you just use messaging, but in Latin America, oh my God,
Oh,
it's
that's
WhatsApp is
like
like
the thing.
yeah, it's like the only thing we
Yeah.
use. So yeah, we use that and we use the camera, and that's about it.
Leech says, by the way, nice drawing, Danny. Good to see what you've been up to. I thank
Sí,
you. Gracias,
beautiful. Gracias,
Leech.
Lich.
And
Yeah.
he says, best hair ever, your nieces. And by the way, what a shady way to start a painting.
What?
Al principio que estaba súper en sombra,
Oh yeah,
creo
yeah,
que lo
yeah,
escribió
yeah. It
en
was
ese momento.
difficult, but
Pero pues es shady por el chiste.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No sé si te lo estoy sobre
Sí, un
explicando,
poquito,
pero
un poquito. Lo llevaste ya ahí lejos.
sí. Pero por si
Yeah,
acaso.
Danny did a beautiful drawing. Beautiful, beautiful, like soft, super, super soft, super compressed value scale drawing. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It reminded me of a Klimt drawing I told her, but really, really nice. And I mean, I'm biased. Well, I'm biased because of Danny, but I'm also biased for that type of drawing. I just absolutely love compressed values. So
Thank you.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Mm,
Check out Danny's Instagram and check it
ya,
out. And
ya me da pena.
and send her some love.
Mm, ah, estaré por Ámsterdam esta semana.
Uy, qué bueno.
¿Me recomiendas museos, sitios específicos a los que haya ido que no me pueda perder?
A ver, ¿yo qué hice en Ámsterdam? Yo me acuerdo que me fui caminando. Dani, búscame de cuánto hay de Ámsterdam a Utrecht, creo.
Voy,
Sí,
espera.
búscame a ver así, súper dato curioso. Pero bueno, o sea, hacer todo lo normal. O sea, el Rijksmuseum, que es increíble. La casa de Rembrandt es fascinante también. ¿Cuál es el otro?
Eh, dice que son 44.3
Ujú.
kilómetros.
Sí. El Stedelijk, no hay un museo que es como el Stedelijk,
Mm,
no es como el museo de arte como, ahorita si buscas algo, así como suena, como con K al final. Pero, Dani, yo caminé de Ámsterdam hasta Utrecht. Me
¿Qué?
eché, sí, sí, me eché como un maratón un día, me dio por caminar desde por la mañana como loco y terminé, o sea, me fui creo que al zoológico, no sé, estaba súper desprogramado, pero se me hizo chévere y después me puse a caminar como un idiota.
Pero o sea, todo el día.
No, sí,
Porque esto
absurdo.
dice que son 8 horas y 5
Absurdo.
minutos,
No, caminé.
Nicolás.
O sea, es que ese fue cuando yo me fui joven, que quise hacer mi viaje por Europa
Sí.
y estaba todo feliz. Y entonces, no sé, estaba en un momento como espiritual, yo no sé, grande. Pero me puse a caminar así, Forrest Gump.
Sí, a
Me puse
peregrinar.
a caminar como un idiota.
No,
No, no,
pero
no.
chévere.
No, fue súper chévere y después me devolví en tren, porque pues yo dije, no, pues ahora me devuelvo, pero yo decía, no, ya que mamera la de vuelta,
No,
no
pues
puedo.
ya no
Eh,
tenía suela en los zapatos.
Sí, no, no, no. No, no, no. Uy, sí me acuerdo estar agotado, pero se me hizo súper bonito. Se me hizo súper, súper bonito.
No encuentro el nombre del museo que me dijiste.
¿No es Stedelijk? No,
Ah, ya lo
Stedelijk.
encontré, sí.
Sí,
Se escribe
Stedelijk.
Stedelijk.
Es que creo que eso es como arte.
A ver, espera. Lo voy
Mándate.
a...
Sí, mándate.
No, no, no lo voy a pronunciar, lo voy a copiar y pegar en el chat.
Sí, pero la casa de Rembrandt que tiene como, como muchos de los grabados y obviamente pues el Rijksmuseum que tiene muchísimas pinturas de Rembrandt. También y de Franz Hals. Es increíble. Ese sitio es increíble. En el Stedelijk creo que es donde está el... hay cosas de Van Gogh y hay cosas de Munch, si no estoy mal. ¿O el Munch está en el Rijksmuseum? No sé, ya no me
Uy,
acuerdo.
no sé, es que mientras busco, ya estás
Ya me...
en otro tema, entonces espera. Eh, a ver. No,
That
no, ya me
purple...
demoré.
Sí,
Sí, ya, ya lo cerré.
muy mal. No, no importa, pero esos sitios, supongo que eso es todo. O sea, y no sé, no sé qué más planes tenga. O
Sergi,
sea,
es Sergi.
Sergi, no, no sé qué más planes tenga, no, no sé. O sea, allá mucha gente, no sé, fuma porro porque pues sí. Mucha gente, uy, la gente sale, o sea, la gente es súper amable, pero está de fiesta, farra, todas las noches, todo el tiempo. No sé, sí.
Yeah, so they're saying Van Gogh Museum too in
Ah,
Amsterdam.
sí, también, también, sí.
Um, uh, they're saying, hope you continue for a long time. These live videos are the perfect painting companions.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Thank you.
Mm,
So this is a simple block-in, but block-ins should always be, in my experience, they should always be quick and they should always be mm, very clear in the sense that even though the whole image is not resolved, you have a sense of where the image is heading, and that can be super super cool. So this purple back there is making all this ochre feel amazing. There's actually like a tiny bit of purple here, all of this kind of framing it, that I feel is great. And I'm even gonna do something that I wasn't planning on doing, but I think it's gonna work really nicely, which is, I know that my color is not like a violet up here, but I think that violet now is working wonders. So I'm not going to push it that much. Not going to make super, super high chroma violet, but I think it's really cool, really nice if we can keep that a little bit.
¿Cómo haces para conservar la pintura de tu paleta para que no se seque? He visto que muchos artistas tienen la paleta así.
Eh, como mis colores. Lo que pasa es que yo pinto todos los días. Esa es la respuesta así como más sencilla, más fácil. O sea, y no es como un flex de cuánto pinto, como, es que yo pinto todo. No, no, no. Es que pinto todos los días. Entonces, Si uno pinta todo el tiempo, pues los colores, como son óleos, puede que generen como una cascarita, una piel, pero debajo de esa piel, que digamos que se genera dependiendo del color, del pigmento, pues, y dependiendo de cuánto tiempo estén expuestos al oxígeno. em, esa cascarita, pues esa es como una pielecita que se oxida, pero uno después la puede chuzar y por debajo está el óleo perfecto. Entonces, sí, yo muchas, pocas veces hoy, por ejemplo, raspé el blanco porque ya estaba muy duro, pero de resto, este color está, digamos, se puede utilizar, este también, todos estos incluso. Pero sí, yo creo que no desperdicio mucho color. Seguramente puedo ser mejor en cuanto al uso, pero creo que no desperdicio mucho.
Mm, they're saying love painting along with you. Should we use hashtag if we post the result on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So,
please. Please
so
do.
you can use the hashtag our painted lives,
Hmm.
and also if you want, you can tag us so we can
Just
try
so we
to find,
know.
yeah, like try to look at the result after.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot easier. If I have to be honest, it's a lot easier when you tag us because we'll get notified that somebody's using that hashtag.
yeah,
Because
so we
with the
can.
hashtag, we don't really get notifications. So,
Mm, Ignacio dice, respecto a lo de la paleta, la
sí.
pintura, dice, se me perdió ya. Yo
Dice
dice,
que
no le
nos
encuentro.
quiere mucho y que está
Dice,
haciendo un día súper lindo.
no, y la verdad no. Dice, yo los meto en la heladera dentro de un topper.
Sí,
Sí, yo he oído eso mucho también.
claro, sí, ¿sabes por qué? Porque no hay oxígeno.
Sí,
Entonces, si uno mete la paleta a la nevera, como no
la
entra
paleta.
la paleta.
Sí, no es.
Ah, no, ahí estás.
Sí.
Uy,
Además,
qué
hoy estoy hablando un
huesera.
montón. No sé qué
No,
me
sí,
pasó
sí,
hoy.
sí. Ojalá te canses ahorita.
Ay.
Si uno mete la paleta a la nevera, como no entra oxígeno, entonces los colores van a durar mucho más tiempo. Hay personas incluso que la metían debajo, la sumergían debajo del agua. Porque en una nevera, pues, de tanto abrir y cerrar, obviamente también hay momentos donde va a entrar el oxígeno. No es que una severa, una nevera esté sellada totalmente. Entonces, si quieren darse la mejor opción, hay unas personas que literal la sumergen debajo de agua. Pero a mí se me hace eso como re extremo. Y además me da mamera después como tener que secar la paleta, como que da jartera, no sé. Entonces, no, yo la tengo afuera, yo la tengo afuera. Hay veces la gente que hace eso es porque, digamos, premezcló colores. Entonces, si se demoró hartísimo tiempo premezclando colores, pues también qué jartera perder todo ese trabajo. Entonces, lo que hacen es meterla a la nevera para que no tengan que volver a hacer ese trabajo después.
Do you like living in the US or Colombia?
Um, I was telling Danny that I didn't really go to New York, but I was there for a couple of days uh, a week ago. Yeah, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, um, because of my trip to Liverpool. I stopped in New York, and I used to believe all the time that I was going to eventually, at some point in my life, just go back to New York and that was going to be my home. And that maybe, if Samu and Fer were already kind of grown up and they were going to college, I could just tell Danny, you know what, let's move to New York. And I mean, I'm not making that decision for Danny, but I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, we could, yeah, no, no, no.
No, you're not
This,
telling me. Yeah.
no, 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 no. So this would be something that we would have to discuss. But
Yep.
um, but I don't know. When I went back to New York, I don't know. It's just not the place that I remembered. It's very different, and it's not. I don't want to be that person that looks back and says, "Oh, it was so much better when I was younger, when I was there." Because I'm guessing like people that lived in New York in the '70s, that was like really grungy, they're like, oh yeah, New York has turned into, a tourist, trap, and it's horrible. It used to have like character, and I'm guessing that, and they would look at New York from the '80s and say, no, it's all gone now. And I'm guessing people that grew up or were familiar with New York in the '80s and looked at the New York in the '90s would say the same thing, and the same thing would be people in the '90s that look at back at New York from the or look at New York from the 2000s. So I'm guessing that that's my case. I was there mid 90s to mid 2000s. So um, I don't know. I just remember it. I realized that I remembered it differently for some reason. That this was something. Maybe it was just that moment of my life, and maybe it was just I just had the perfect age, and it was just the place that was that was super important for me in terms of my own development as an artist, but also as a you know as a person. And I thought I would be able to kind of move back and feel the same thing, like exactly the same thing, and I didn't. Like the smell of trash, dude, it like got to me, and I was like, why is this getting to me? I used to live here. Like this is New York smell. But I was like, oh my god, it smells so much like, I told Danny, it's like a
Yeah.
smell that it's like warm trash, piss, like poop, and bad weed. Like, horrible weed. And that's, if you put all of that in a blender, that's like the New York smell. That's what New York, subway smells like. That's what the streets smell like on a warm day. And when I was there, it was warm. It was actually super warm. People were like really surprised that they were getting, like in October, they were getting such a nice day. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm super lucky that um, because my grandfather was German, eventually, we're talking here, years still in the future, but eventually I think I could move to Europe also. If there is a European Union, it's some, if that still is still going in the future. But I still could move there. Again, all of these decisions have to be run through Danny.
Yep.
So, because my life wouldn't be cool if I didn't move anywhere without her. So I don't know. I don't know where life will take me slash us. Hopefully, if we're together, I'm sure it's gonna be cool. So, but living here, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I think nobody could ever tell you that living in Colombia is perfect. There are tons of issues that we can't cover up, and we're not, we will never ever cover them up. Um, but I've always said it. It's home. There is always something to be said about your home, and so warts and all, I feel that people that are here, we love it, even if we complain about our country or our city. Again, it's out of the desire that hopefully at some point it'll just be better for all of us. So yeah, no, we love our country for sure. We have our friends here, our families here, both Danny's and mine. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is home, as you
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
So,
it's hard to say it in a more elaborate way when really it's just about it feeling like home. So yeah.
um, uh, so they're saying New York changed so much after 9/11, went downhill, and they're asking New York smells more than Paris.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't been to Paris in a little bit. Um, who do we know that's maybe
Mm,
not in who's maybe in Paris?
I don't know anyone,
Let me think.
or I didn't like it doesn't come to my mind right now. So,
Yeah. Oh, I could bet. I mean, I remember Paris, and because I haven't been there in a while, but I've been there 3 times, and yeah, there's like there's the same problem, I guess. Um, uh, but I don't know. I think New York, there's so much neglect in New York. I feel there's such a gap, and that's what's happens in every big city. But I guess it's happening a lot in those bigger cities and like the cosmopolitan cities where there's just this bigger and bigger gap between the people that can live there. They're usually quite privileged people. I would say even if you're just trying to make it by if you're still around New York. I mean, and I know that not every neighborhood in every one of those boroughs is super nice. I know. I couldn't live in New York. I couldn't live in Manhattan. I actually lived in Weehawken in Jersey. So, but I'm guessing there's a lot of stuff that is it's quite privileged about living in these bigger cities, and the gap between, for example, the people that are that have lost their homes and that are pushed to the streets, and the people that have jobs that help them maintain that New York lifestyle. That gap is so huge now, and I think it's probably, I mean, this is not a New York problem again. This is like a every city problem. Those gaps are getting larger and larger and larger, and it's just kind of painful to see that. I'm guessing what I felt 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it's what everyone feels like, is that cities used to be able to give you a chance, I feel. And even one of the toughest cities in the world, which is New York, you kind of felt like you had the chance, like you could fight your way through it. Nowadays, it just, I don't know, it just kind of feels, um, just doesn't feel accessible at all. Not, not at all. So I don't know. I don't know. I thought I was gonna miss it, and it was super familiar. Like as soon as I stepped on in a subway, it just felt from everything felt exactly the same. Well, walking didn't feel the same. It's just like there's so much crap. There's like it's tough to see. I mean, it depends where you are in New York, but it's used to be able to walk around and there was a deli or a diner always somewhere nearby, and everything now is just a dumb brand, like a super specific dumb brand, um, restaurant, or I don't know, experience. I guess I don't know. So everything just becomes so niche, so specific, just so that you feel it's like special. That I don't know. I don't know. Like the deli that was right across from the street where I studied, it was so important for us because that was like $1.25, I think, $1.50 soup. And that's how we all, that's like the lunch we all of us had every day, like soup every single day, soup and a banana or something like that. And now there's like, I walked past my school and there's like nothing there, nothing. We used to have like a couple of bars. Like I could think of like three bars that were just walking distance from the university. That was so cool because you would go there at night and you would see other people from the university. It's awesome. Like it was super nice. Now nothing. None of those bars survived. You could tell that either the people that owned those places just thought, okay, this is much better business to rent them off to like some bigger, some I don't know, some bigger brand that's going to put their business there, or just the rent hiked so much that people were not able to pay for that stuff anymore. So I don't know. I don't know. I wish I like it was a little painful to be honest with myself and say, I don't know. I don't think I can come here. Like, well, come here as a visit, yeah, for sure, but I don't know if I want to live here. Not at all. I just I don't know. It felt familiar and foreign at the same time, I guess. That's what I would say.
Do you have any thoughts on California or the West Coast?
I haven't been there enough to say anything about it. I mean, I've been to San Diego because my brother used to live there. I was there a couple of times, and I went to when I did the workshop on Pixar and with Olivia.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but that was
San
not
Francisco.
Berkeley. That was yeah. It wasn't San Francisco either. Oh God, I
Do you want
forget.
me to Google
Yeah, where
something?
is Pixar?
Okay, so
Because
wait.
that's around where I was staying, but I don't remember now what that neighborhood is. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I don't know a lot of the about the West Coast.
Mm,
And I went to Seattle, so Pacific West Coast. It's not so it's not. I'm not super familiar.
so it says so Emerville or Richmond because
No, not Richmond. Maybe
maybe
Emerville. I
this
was
one.
closer to Emerville.
So
Maybe,
uh
maybe.
mm, is it this one? Oh yeah, you went to this one. So yeah, Emerville.
Okay, so I was around it, but I don't know if it was quite.
Emerville
It was a little west to west of Emerville. No, east. I'm sorry.
East?
Yeah, east to your right.
Oh. Yeah,
Your
I was
other
like,
east,
what are you
Danny.
talking about? Um so it says South Berkeley,
Oh, so it's no. I think it was I think maybe I was.
Rockridge.
No, maybe it was Berkeley. Maybe it was Berkeley. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was the couple of days I went to San Francisco. I don't know. I don't know if I liked it. I have to be honest. I don't know. It just again, that gap between people that have nothing and the people that are working in San Francisco, it's enormous. It's absolutely enormous. A little painful to watch, not because it's it's annoying like, oh my god, I don't want to see this. No, it's just that it pains me to see that such a gulf between human beings. It's tough. It's actually super tough to experience that. Yeah, I would never live in San Francisco. I was there for that time. I was there for like 2 weeks, Danny, or 3 weeks
Yeah,
maybe, because it
because
was
you
like two
yeah,
workshops
yeah, you
back to
did too.
back. Um, Awesome that I got to see Pixar. I went to the Young Museum. Yeah, to the Young to see my favorite American painting of all time, which is Edwin Dickinson's Cello Player. Could you look for that painting, Danny?
Sure.
That's my. It's not the most important American painting for sure, um, but it is my favorite American painting. So I had to go and look for that painting, and the experience was amazing. I mean, I didn't regret it at all. It's a weird museum, very strange museum, to be honest.
So, do you think this one has like an accurate
No,
color?
it's so no. It's a lot warmer. I know there's reproductions that are super
Maybe this
cool,
one?
super blue. Yeah, that one's a little bit closer.
Okay. So, um, so Van Sant is here and he says, Maisha says.
Yes, Maisha.
So she says,
Yes, Maisha.
"Hello, I
Hello,
like
Maisha.
what you're painting,
Thank you.
but you are quite chatty."
I'm
Hi,
chatting too
Danny and
much.
Nicolas.
Should I
Hi,
should I
Maisha.
Oh my god, I got like it's like shut up and paint.
Maisha, and he's always super chatty.
Yeah, Maisha, the thing is, I was born this way. I'm not I don't know if I could do anything without chatting. Your dad was at a workshop with me, and I think I chatted every second of that workshop. So your dad already knows me, I feel. Your dad knows what he signed up for. So you just have to take the good with the bad, Maisha. That's what Danny repeats herself to herself every day.
No, but I like that you talk a lot. I really do. I mean, it sounds weird, but I do. Sometimes I don't that much, but
Okay, make up your mind.
no,
Which
I do. I
which one
do.
is it?
No, I do a lot.
Okay.
So here is the cello
Yeah.
player painting of Dickinson that you said.
Yeah, that's my favorite painting. Favorite American painting by far. It's incredible. It's
So
amazing.
Van Sant says it was exhausting. She's laughing and giggling.
Yeah, I know. I know. Sometimes I think it's tough for me to talk, and then I always think, "Oh my God, how are the other people? You know, how is it for?" Well, you could mute me. I mean, this is like on virtual workshops, so you could mute me, and I would have no idea.
Mm,
I did remember Vincent me calling you a ton of times, like, "Oh, like Vincent's painting where he's," and I was like, "Vincent, Vincent, Vincent." No answer. So I'm guessing either you were sleeping or I was muted. But again, no,
yeah, so people are saying that they really like that you're chatty.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Well,
They're
I can't
saying
do anything about that.
chattiness is fine, part of the vibe. We're here for the chatting. We can mute you if we don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
like the talking, haha, chatting while painting. That's a skill I don't have. It's nice to listen to your talks.
Cool, cool. And yeah,
Um,
you're right. Yeah, like I'm not gonna be offended if you just want to see the painting. It's not gonna make sense when I stop because sometimes I don't know why there's moments that if either if it's for emphasis or for something, and I just have to stop and point at something or think about something. But I think I can work through it while painting most of the time. So
so Liet says, Nicolas, I know exactly how you feel about New York. I felt the same way after moving away from home and going back to visit it.
mm,
It feels familiar, foreign, and not home.
yeah. Can I ask where is home, Liat? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer.
I
But
think it's maybe I'm gonna guess, but I think it's maybe Texas because remember that we were talking about
oh,
going.
right,
He
right,
said
right, right.
that we could
Maybe,
go.
but maybe
Like
sometimes
I'm
people live
guessing. I don't
in
know.
somewhere and they live in, and that happens in the U.S. a lot, or throughout Europe too. Also, um, um, that people have to move because of jobs. So many times their home is not necessarily where they're working or where they've lived for the past 10 years. Maybe home is like many states away or many countries away. So,
They're saying come live in Europe, France or Italy or Spain or Portugal.
oh, nice, nice.
Um,
Never been to Portugal. So that's one I'm missing. I have to do Portugal. I think Danny and I, if everything goes well, if everything works out, and these are like tons of variables that we don't control, so we try not to put um the carriage before the horse, as they say.
is
Um,
that a saying?
I think so, or I think I said it the
Yeah,
other
like
way
you
around. Is
translated
the horse
maybe.
before the carriage? No,
No,
the horse before the carriage makes
no, but
sense.
did you do?
Carriage before the horse.
You did a
Oh, did I
translation,
translate it?
maybe.
La carreta antes del caballo.
Creo
No,
que
eso no es un
sí.
dicho.
Pues yo lo, o sea,
¿Sí?
me sonó, sí, no sé, de pronto yo
¿Te
estoy
sonó
mal, pero
paisa?
sí, me sonó, sí. O sea, pudo dar
No,
rielo.
no, that's a saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what were you saying? I'm
So
sorry.
it don't count your chicks before they hatch. Also, that's
Okay.
that's kind of like a saying we don't know what's gonna happen. Danny, for example, was about to buy a ticket 2 years ago to go to Rome with me.
Yeah.
Um, and this was COVID, the year of COVID. So she's super, super glad that she didn't commit to that ticket because um, she would have lost her money. I don't know how tickets were like if in 2020 airlines were still um, reimbursing people for their tickets or if they were still valid. But yeah,
Yeah, but
so we have to wait. But if everything goes well, she'll be going with me to Spain, maybe in April, hopefully,
yeah.
and because we have a workshop there, and to Rome, hopefully in July. And Danny has Danny does it hasn't traveled Well, she's been to
Menorca, but
Menorca.
that was the first time I went to Europe.
Right,
So,
right, right. And Menorca is amazing, but it doesn't. It's not quite Europe. Like it
well,
doesn't
I loved
feel.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's incredible. It's an incredible, but it's still like an island. Still feels very insular, like literally. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm like super excited for Danny because I don't know. I don't know if for other people, but for us here in South America, and especially for countries that are, around the equator, to go to Europe is such a, strange, different experience from anything that we've ever experienced in life that it's incredible. I remember feeling when I was young, well, younger, I mean, I was probably like teenager, when the first time that my aunt actually invited me to Europe with my mother, it was like the three of us. Um, First time I went there, it's almost as if you think your eyes have seen 100% of like the world, or the world, and you realize that you've only seen like 10%. Like you very quickly you're like you realize I have yet to understand or see the world, and it was amazing. Like that moment, it's like your brain just frees up. It's incredible. It just opens up and it's just like, ah. So it's an incredible experience for us.
Yeah, I hope we
And
can go.
yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
love also to go to Rome.
Uh,
I remember I was super like thrilled to go, uh, like you said, before COVID started.
Yeah.
But I also remember, I don't know if you remember that you were telling me like buy the tickets. Why don't you buy the tickets?
Well, yeah, cuz we
Because they're going to get like a lot more pricier.
yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't know why, but just give me a month. And then the pandemic starts, so
Yeah, so we had to cancel that
yeah.
that that workshop was obviously canceled. And yeah, it was super super sad that we couldn't do that, but I'm
Yeah.
excited that hopefully next year we'll be able to do that. And I'll be super super happy to see Danny, like to share that experience with Danny. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. So hopefully we can do that. Hopefully.
So Liet says, remember that you asked where his
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
was? He said, my mom lives in Israel, so when I go visit my mom, I grew up in America and Israel. And yep, I thought he said something more, but no.
Right.
So
Yeah, so it's yeah, that's home sometimes, or what we interpret as home at separate moments of our lives. Yeah, it just, I don't know, maybe it's tied so much to the context of when we were there, how old we were, uh, that it's very hard to to bring all of that back up. And maybe we get older. Like for me, it's also that I'm older, and I don't know. Maybe I thought it was like, oh, look at that New York smell. It's like, oh, hell yeah, that's like character. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my fucking God, this smells horrible. Like, I don't want to smell this like day in and day out. I'm not saying every single street in New York smells like that, or every single subway station. No, of course not. But still, it's pretty gnarly. And summers, oh my God. When it gets warm, like if it's like 90 degrees outside and it's like 100% humidity, oh my God, the smell of trash. I have a feeling I was there also when there was a strike. When there was a strike, I think it was like a joint strike. Like the people from the subways were striking, and the people from the people that cleaned the streets, the trash collectors, were also striking. Oh my God, you should have seen those streets in New York. It was just, I mean, the smell was unmanageable.
um yeah, so they're saying Rome is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. It
Yeah, it's
has
incredible.
magic.
Yeah.
And they're saying also uh, Venice?
Venice.
Venice, sorry, is really a thing. You've been there too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it also smelly? I'm sorry. But
You know that I don't like in my memory because I was only there once, one time. Um, I don't think. I mean, it's canals, but it doesn't. It's not as if it smells like a stuck
yeah,
canal
no,
or
no, no.
something.
I'm asking because my cousin was there.
You're right,
Yeah, and he was. I think he was in summer,
right,
and he said that it smelled a lot. But like he said, it was weird because it smelled like fish,
right,
like salt.
but because that's you know.
Yeah, no, I was just curious to
No, no,
know.
no. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't. It's not like it smells like horrible, like
Yeah,
unmanageable. Like oh my god,
yeah, because the thing is that when you arrived at New York, I
it
remember
was.
that you told me, I was like, "Hey, how's everything?" And you were like, "Everything, everything's fine, but the smell is so hard." Yeah, so for a smell to be that hard,
Yeah, that
so that
evident.
it's yeah, that it's the first thing that you notice, like
Right.
it had to be like super hard. So
Yeah. Again, maybe I just because I was last time I was there, I was it was like what 6 years ago, maybe 7. Yeah, 6-ish years ago, and I didn't remember that. Like I don't know. I just didn't think about that when I was there. But I don't know for some reason this time it just it was very evident.
oh, but they're saying Venice. Venice is was it?
Venice,
Venice.
Venice.
I'm sorry again.
Now you could go with Venice.
Venice is smelly, but don't go in summer and it's okay. So maybe it
Okay.
was the time of the year that you went.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
Yeah. Mm. Oh, they're saying Danny's voice is beautiful. Thank you.
Oh
That's
my
why
god.
I would win in the singing contest,
Okay.
Nicolas.
So, yeah. So there's nothing
I
nowhere
I had to read that comment because
nowhere it says that if you have a nice voice, you have a nice singing voice.
uh,
Nowhere.
mm,
No.
I have a good singing voice.
Well, let's keep moving. So,
um, dicen Praga también súper recomendada.
súper lindo, sí. Súper, súper linda.
Sí, también dicen, eh, sí, otra vez de Praga.
Yo ya fui a ver la épica eslava.
¿Te sonó? ¿Qué?
¿Qué pasó?
Es que dijiste, ya fui, no sé, te sonó
Ah,
chistoso.
¿sonó chistoso?
Sí, fatal.
No. Yo allá fui
Ajá,
a ver la épica eslava de Muja,
sí,
que es una serie de pinturas grandototas que es increíble. Que, curiosamente, creo que después la sacaron de Praga. Estuvo en Praga un tiempo y
sí.
después la sacaron y está como a las afueras.
Sí, porque that's also the reason that I would love to go to Europe, like museum,
Oh,
everything art
yeah.
related,
Oh, that's
because I've only been to like a big museum, the Art
in
Institute
yeah,
in Chicago.
which
Yeah,
is
it's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, which is really
But I would
amazing.
love to go to a lot more.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. And like museums in Italy are incredible. Absolutely incredible, for example. Or like the Louvre or d'Orsay, they are amazing. They're just
so Liet says, "Are we going to get some singing today?"
no.
No,
No, no, no. It's going well.
not today.
It's going well. Let's not ruin the day.
Um, how do you think the world would be if COVID don't happen? They're saying didn't happen, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what would have been just our natural course uh, if a lot of people would have gravitated towards these virtual experiences? I think people were already there. I mean, YouTube wouldn't be if it wasn't for a lot of people. Just there wouldn't be, YouTubers if there wasn't a ton of people that were already um, just following comfortably. All these people that would create content. I think it. You know what it made? Uh, I think it was. I mean, it was. It's an absolute tragedy what happened. So we can just take that as a given, right? We don't even need to discuss that. But I think for people that are introverts, for example, in a very strange way, it just made things kind of clearer for them or more comfortable for them because a lot of society started behaving like, you know, the way introverts naturally behave. And I've met people that have said, I am super happy. Like, this has been an awesome time for me. Again, these are very, very, very subjective, very, very personal things. They're not saying that, they would wish would happen on the world to anyone. But, when people are asked, they're saying, no, this was amazing because I always wanted to either work from home or I just don't feel comfortable around people and this just made everything that I am naturally. It just kind of it's almost as if the world um, suddenly fit those people, and I don't like in a very strange way. It just made a lot of people realize that not everyone is just a social, being. Not
Yeah.
everyone out there is just a social being that is just yearning to go out on the streets or to go out at night and party, and I think it just made us kind of understand social dynamics a little bit better because people think that, and I'm guessing we are we're slowly getting to a point where it does feel like everything's going to be over soon-ish, I feel. But I don't know if the world is the same. I don't know if people are still going to be the same. Those people that were comfortable, they're just gonna feel okay. You know I'm gonna ask people to mind their space, like for example personal space, things about personal space. A lot of people are way more aware of giving other people their personal space. um, they're noticing that businesses notice that people can be productive when working from home. um, People thought that once you open up a country, everyone's just gonna party like animals and party like super super hard. And I'm sure there's people that missed that during the pandemic, and that's totally fine. By the way, no judgment here whatsoever. But there's a lot of people that were like, yeah, I don't really, I have no desire to just go out and party like crazy now, and that's totally fine too. So I think that there are tons of social dynamics that we took for granted that we thought, yeah, that's what life is about. That's what's cool about life in our society, and we're rethinking a lot of those things. So I think that maybe what happened was just a way where all of those things just accelerated. Um, I feel that that's where we were headed, but we just got there quicker. I feel, or that's what was happening, but we were just a little bit blind to it, maybe. So
They're saying COVID was a huge shake for universities.
yeah,
And Liad says, next time I go to or table at a convention, I'm wearing a mask. Not catching a cold or the flu is fantastic.
yeah. Liad, and this is like super true here in Colombia.
Yeah.
I could tell you this, and Danny just going to art school and me being a teacher. Um, we used to never see people wearing masks
Like, and it was
ever.
weird because
Yeah,
sometimes, like in public transportation, there was people that were super responsible and had the flu and wear a mask, and like it was one in
no,
a hundred, yeah, or
yeah, yeah.
more. I mean, it was super weird to see someone wearing a mask,
But
and
I don't know if you have that same feeling, Danny. Like if I would see someone at the university, it was always like, oh, what happened to you, or oh,
yeah,
what's wrong, or oh, what's if someone was wearing like a face mask, it's always it was they were bound to be judged, like
yeah,
ignorantly, stupidly
yeah, and
judged.
some people thought it was super like exaggerated, like,
Right,
oh,
right,
you
right.
don't have to use a mask here, and it was like, I think it's cool that now we realize that like that's the way that we should handle a
Yeah,
flu, and that like wearing a mask is normal, And if you feel comfortable like that, like, go ahead. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it used to be so, and we here in Latin America and specifically in Colombia, we're super judgy, super super judgy. I mean, we can't hide that. And yeah, so we had those very superficial, very ignorant ways of thinking. And if anything, if if this just made people far more comfortable when saying, "Hey, I don't feel well, can I either stay at home and work from home, or do you mind if I'll just show up with a mask and not be something weird if if somebody shows up with a mask? It's totally fine. Like that's how responsible societies behave. Like,
yeah,
that used to be a thing where I don't know about you, Danny, but I used to, when you looked at Japan and you saw tons of people there, like super super responsible, like socially responsible,
yeah,
saying like, "Hey, I have a cold. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wear a mask. I just don't want to get other people, sick." And but it used to feel so foreign for
yeah.
us, so
And
so foreign.
but I know they also do it because of contamination in some
Right, right,
places.
yeah, right, right, right,
Yeah. But as you said, it was like super distant to our reality. Like,
right. And if anything, that's yeah, like Liat was saying, if you go to a convention or if you go to anywhere where there's like a large gathering of people, and you just if you want to wear a mask, just wear a mask. I mean, that's totally fine. That's
yeah,
it's your choice.
yeah.
It's your absolute choice. You're free to do that. So um, it was tough. I remember that when went to Italy,
Yep.
I had those N95 masks that I had to wear,
KN. Yeah.
KN95,
Yeah.
that I wore for like 2 flights straight. And I was telling Danny I was dying. I was like, I can't breathe
Yeah, because
in an
with that
airplane.
thing
I was
you
like, oh my
cannot breathe.
God. No, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do any. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die here. But yeah, so it's tough, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure that that's usually what happens with almost anything. There's always going to be something that's with tragedies in particular that's going to be horrible, but society learns from them in some way. And again, people are free to do whatever they want, but um, if at the end you adopt a measure that at the beginning felt really strange and foreign, and now you're going to feel okay because people are barely going to look at you or judge you for anything like that. That's kind of cool, I feel.
Um, they're saying it's really uncomfortable to wear those masks with a beard.
Yeah. Or my glasses. Oh my God. They fog up
Yeah,
my glasses
yeah.
like crazy.
They're saying I'm autistic, so the pandemic didn't changed a lot for me. I'm used to stay at home and avoid contact. In fact, almost everything sadly was easier. Sad because people suffered and died. So yeah, that's like
Yeah.
the thing that you were saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we became very aware that, people in the spectrum and or people that have social anxiety, yeah, that it's not like life is not just about, hey, suck it up and go out and put a good face and try to talk to people. It's not simple as that. Like life usually is far more complicated than
Yeah,
that,
and
I feel.
also like I think we realized that going out, like I think we too know because we don't go out a lot, but I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people realize that like going out wasn't only like going to a party or going to a crowded place, but people started to like try to go camping or try to go to a little like a little escape, like a
Mhm.
little vacation, and that's super cool too.
Right.
Like it widen,
Widened?
yeah,
Yep.
the possibilities of going out. Like hanging out doesn't mean going to a party. So
Right, right, right.
or like to crowded places. So yeah. Um so they're saying, is there a theme to this week? last time I'm asking. Oh, because they asked before.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
So
But
sorry. Oh,
no, no, no.
okay.
I didn't saw the question, so
Um,
my bad.
I'm hoping that, in a very abstract way, and I thought that it would be kind of cool to do this, is to pick an area of a painting. Like, it doesn't have to. We don't have to nominate it in any way, and just to see it as an excuse to push design, which is very, it's a very abstract, very kind of weird thing. So today, evident, it's super evident, super easy to see what we're pushing. It's just this big, massive hair, and I'm trying to see hair not just as strands of hair. So I'm using my very, scruffy, beat up, round bristle brushes, hog bristle brushes, because they'll give me a chance to do that. But I'm not trying to think of hair as just the like a cumulative mass that is made up of individual strands of little hairs. No, no, no. If I can evoke that through the mark making, great. But I don't want to, try to do every little bit of hair, because I think that that's a lot of people can do that. I can't. And they can make this beautiful, like, Albrecht Dürer hair. I almost made it through that Albrecht Dürer.
No, but you
No, no,
did
no.
it.
No,
Now,
no, no, because
now that
I
you
did
went
well.
back.
I did well with the Albrecht, but I couldn't follow with the Dürer. Dürer.
Okay, so
It's way
one,
too
two,
German.
three.
No, it's too German. No, no, no. It's too much for me. Um, so there are like Renaissance paintings that you'll see, or high Renaissance or Baroque paintings where the hair, or like pre-Raphaelite paintings, the hair is just so gorgeously painted. Such a beautiful, beautiful kind of, design based on just waves and strands. I can't do that. I really can't. I don't have the personality to do that, but I can push, shapes and colors, and change my hues throughout the painting so that it feels interesting. So I'm guessing that we could do that. Initially I thought, okay, what can be the overarching sort of theme for these paintings? And yeah, so I think that if we choose an aspect of the painting and just think of it as shapes, that's just very, very abstract shapes. Again, trying to separate ourselves a little bit from their meaning, from what we call them, and just see them as an opportunity to paint. I think that's kind of cool. So feels a little abstract, a little bit loose, but I think it's going to be kind of cool.
Hola,
Hola.
hermoso como los tonos saturados iluminan tus pinturas. Por favor, ¿podrías repetir el nombre del pintor neoyorquino que te encanta?
Ah, el que vi, Leonard Anderson. Sí, la expo que vi allá.
Eh, a ver.
Leonard Anderson.
eh,
Te iba a decir que ahí tengo el libro, pero creo que lo guardé en el closet.
¿Para que te lo pase?
No, pues por si, como para mostrarlo fácil, pero
Ah,
pues no.
¿te lo paso? No me demoro
No, no,
nada.
no.
Bueno, eh, a ver, otra en español dice, tengo la sensación de que ya respondiste a esto en otro directo, pero tienes pensado hacer un workshop o exposición en España o en Europa en un futuro.
Pues teníamos con Galería Roja, teníamos cuadrado desde antes, creo que de pandemia, también un taller. No lo hemos reprogramado porque estábamos tratando como de reprogramarlo, pero es que ahorita Colombia estaba súper restringido para viajar a países de Europa. Entonces era complejo, o sea, se podía viajar a Europa, pero era súper complejo y tocaba hacer como
Muchas
muchas
vueltas.
vueltas, sí, vueltas innecesarias que hacían que los viajes se volvieran muchísimo más costosos. Entonces, sí, tengo que volver a hablar con ellos eh, para ver si podemos hacer el próximo año el taller en Sevilla. Y pues tenemos el que estábamos mencionando ahorita, que es
Menorca.
en Menorca, que si no estoy
Es en
mal,
abril, ¿no?
sí, es en abril y de pronto ya está lleno, pero de pronto hay algún cupo. pero creo que ya puede estar lleno. Puede ser.
Ya te digo.
Sí, entonces.
Eh, ¿Será este? Espera. Sí, sí, dice ya que
¿Está lleno?
está lleno, sí.
Sí, entonces ese
Ah,
ya.
pero creo que hay una waitlist
Sí.
de pronto.
Normalmente en
Sí,
esos talleres que son como talleres que también son como experiencias, digámoslo así, como el de Roma también,
sí.
pues hay mucha gente que por cualquier razón tiene que cancelar en algún momento. Y hay listas de espera, entonces si de pronto pues están súper interesados, pueden escribir allá a ver si es una lista de espera muy grande o porque por ahora pues esos son los talleres que haría en Europa, honestamente, y no creo que pudiera ser más, la verdad.
Sí, pues, ¿y el de Roma que dijiste?
Sí,
O sea, si
exacto.
ese ya lo mencionaste ahorita.
Sí, sí, pero ese
Ah,
creo
ok,
que también ya está lleno.
ok. No, y lo otro, te iba a decir,
Dime.
yo había dicho antes lo de hacer el tab en la
Ah,
página.
sí, sí.
No lo hemos hecho, pero la idea es que en la página pueda haber un tab con todos los workshops por si alguno está interesado, pues que puedan ver las fechas de los talleres. Entonces, pronto, no sé cuándo, pero
No, sí, sí, no, de pronto
pronto lo
mañana me pongo en
hacemos.
eso. Ese tab,
Sí,
la verdad, no me quita 15
pronto lo
minutos.
hacemos y me comprometo yo a mantenerlo súper al día.
Bueno, gracias, Lindita.
Me comprometí ya acá
Pues sí,
en
eso
el en vivo,
fue, yo
sí.
no te reconozco quién eres.
Em, have you ever been to Japan?
No, no,
I would love to go to Japan.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious. I would be super super curious. But I love and anything that puts me in a different culture, different people, different belief system. I love it. I love this planet. I love that the world is so you know just so complicated and so different. So anything that makes me question my own beliefs, anything that just makes me be respectful of other people's traditions and that just throws me into their world. I love that. I love that feeling. Absolutely love it. I mean, it can be a very uncomfortable feeling, but I adore it. I love to travel and just walk, like aimlessly walk around.
Yeah, so I was typing, but I'm a little bit slow, so I prefer to say it here. Remember that you can ask whatever you want. It can be art related or, mm,
Singing related.
yeah, like it could be any topic, and we'll be happy to answer and have a conversation with you guys. So please let us know anything you want. Mm, because I'm looking for more questions and I don't see any right
No,
now.
okay. No.
So,
So I was so I'm hoping that I don't get way too lost in these smaller shapes. Right now, they do feel more organic. I guess, hair is organic, but um, they feel fur like. She feels almost like feral in a way, which I'm kind of liking. I'm kind of digging. I want to take everything to like a point where I feel it's not resolved at all, but where I feel okay, all the shapes that I need in my painting are there, and then I can see it's tough because I'm getting like super nice gesture. I got like a very nice gesture with like bigger brushes. There's a little things that here and there that bug me about the drawing of the head, but I'm happy that I got to that drawing with bigger, quote unquote bigger brushes. I did end up using like a smaller one to put some accents here and there, but I'm hoping that I can get the painting to a point where I can just judge it as a whole first, and then start pushing little bits of the painting that I find are interesting to me, or that I can spot the direction that I can take the painting, or to see how much I can push the actual um, objective that I had set out on myself, which is okay. Let's see how much we can kind of understand and push this shape. So I still think we're either a ways off, or we're either mm, close to identifying that I need to be respectful with some of the more expressive shapes that I've put down. Um, I think I'm at that point, which is feels a little strange, even for me when I'm painting, because I don't know, like there are things that I like that are kind of inherent to the blocking, but there's also this desire that I have, to push things and to say, okay, you've kind of hinted at this, go and try to resolve it a little bit better. And my natural tendency is to say, oh, if I hinted at it, I'm fine. Like, I love when things are just barely hinted at, because it's just, to me, that just opens up a world that is so wonderful for viewers, I feel. Or when I say viewers, I don't want to make that decision for the viewers that are going to look at my paintings, but I'm probably speaking more about myself as a viewer. And I love when there is room for me as a viewer, when I'm not just really directed through a painting or through an image, but I can actually be an sort of like an integral part in the construction of that image. I love that. I absolutely adore that feeling. So I think with a lot of my own paintings, I like to leave that room always, that kind of door ajar, that little window, just open, knowing that, hey, if you want to be a part of this, like there's going to be enough for you if you just want to sit back and look and observe something. But if you want to go in and just kind of generate your own storyline and just, push your own narrative into the painting, that to me is fantastic. Like I love when an image can actually do that. So I I always struggle a lot trying to understand if I'm being hesitant and I'm not pushing because I'm afraid to ruin what I have, or if I'm just being honest about where I want my painting to be. That's always like a really tough place to navigate. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. That there's so much like beautiful gesture, awesome attitude. I think I'm not getting my knees quite well, but I'm getting so much attitude out of the painting that I love, and I would sacrifice 100 out of 100 times one for the other. Like if I can get attitude instead of likeness, 100%. If I can get attitude and likeness, great. But in my case, I think I'll usually just favor one over the other, or I'll just won't be capable of accessing both because my drawing is not that great. So usually I just tend to be satisfied if I can get like really cool attitude or expression over a likeness.
Dicen, siempre he pensado que es una familiar tuya. ¿Lo es?
Did you see? Cristina es la hija de mi hermana menor y es una bailarina increíble,
Sí,
increíble.
súper talentosa.
Sí, y ojalá si le sale todo, va a estudiar como artes escénicas, más o
Teatro
menos.
musical, ¿no
Sí,
es?
como teatro musical, sí, pero también tiene que hacer baile y... Pero sí, es más como de danza y canto. Pero es una dura, canta súper bonito, desde chiquitica además. Nunca se lo impusieron, o sea, siempre como que le gustó naturalmente a ella hacerlo. Impresionante, o sea, ella es súper cómoda. A mí me ponen un spotlight encima y yo que pues he tenido que pintar en frente de gente o hablar en frente de gente, pero igual a mí me ponen un spot y siempre, o sea, me cago, o sea, me da mucho susto siempre. Mi sobrina es como, o sea, es como si hubiera nacido debajo de ese spotlight. Es
Sí, y
impresionante.
adicional a eso es súper dedicada.
Ah, no, sí, y
Es,
tiene,
sí,
exacto, tiene la,
la mejor combinación, creo
sí,
yo, para eso.
tiene capacidad natural, o sea, tiene la personalidad para hacer ese tipo de cosas. yo creo que es como pues, cuando la gente nace con una personalidad específica y eso sí uno no lo puede negar, pero también ha sido de un compromiso absurdo, enorme toda su vida y, y, y yo también, como lo que decía Dani, o sea, uno necesita, pues sí, si uno tiene digamos, esa genética natural donde uno puede estar súper cómodo siendo como protagonista de algo, chévere, pero pues uno también tiene que tener el deseo de mejorar y de trabajar y
Sí,
de estar todos los días haciendo como lo que a uno le encanta hacer. Y pues ella, ush, es admirable, súper, súper admirable.
sí, sí, sí.
Impresionante. Es nuestro orgullo familiar, 100%.
In which language are you all talking?
Oh, this is Spanish, by the way. Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, we thought about it with Danny because we thought we have like Spanish Tuesdays for our channel is a super important thing for us. Super super important because we know that in in English most of the people in the world can speak English or will understand a little bit of English. So that's the language that, regardless of where you are in the world, maybe you'll get to study English at some point. So the one way that we could kind of access the most people in the world is through English, and I think that that's not even debatable. That's just a fact of life, even if we like it or not, even if we see that language as a colonizing language, or it doesn't matter. Like life has given us this language that a lot of people can communicate with, and we opted to have our channel in English. Sometimes Danny and I feel weird that we speak English, like even
to
right
each
now.
other,
Yeah, to
yeah.
each other right now. Like it feels weird, and you kind of feel stupid. But we are from Colombia,
Did you
so
say you kind of feel stupid?
I do.
Like me?
I no 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 no. I we and I think I said we.
No, I think you said you kind
No
of.
no no no
I was
we.
like, what?
Or you as in not you as
Like,
in
yeah,
you, but
you
one
feel like,
one
yeah,
feels
one
one
feels,
feels
yeah.
right right. So but we speak Spanish, and it was super important for us to do that. Our channel would also understand that we are from Colombia, so we want to speak to native Spanish speakers, and that was super cool. There's so many people that appreciated that we had our channel in Spanish, because there's not a lot of art channels that are in Spanish. I know that there's some Spanish painters, literally like from Spain, that have channels in like painting channels in Spanish, but there's not a lot. There's you have to like really look for a lot of the content if you want like good content to be in Spanish. So we were like super proud, and we thought that that was a very nice thing. But when we were gonna do lives, we didn't want to segment people that if they wanted to join in. And eventually we were like, you know what? Let's do what we did when we started videos like Instagram lives
Yeah.
years ago, like 4 years ago. Let's just speak in English and in Spanish, and it's okay. And if you don't know Spanish, that's fine. It's not as if you're going to miss something, or if people are talking behind your back, or no, no, no. It's just see it as a moment where you can relax, and maybe you can pick a little bit up, and maybe you can remember the Spanish that you studied in school or something. But we thought, let's do both. Let's do both at the same time, and it's
Yeah.
totally fine. Like, let's not segment people. All of us here I think are united by this interest and this kind of willingness to live accompanied by painting, by the act of painting, which is super cool. So I think we can find common ground, and our common ground may not be our language, but painting can be that place where we can meet. So
Yeah, and also it's super cool, I think. Like, if you speak Spanish and you join, like, you can hang with us, but also if you speak in English. So it's a place for everyone.
yep, yep.
They're saying, I love having both English and Spanish. It feels like I'm traveling a little.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
super
That's
cool, yeah.
awesome.
Um, Rosalind says, while traveling, any tips for art supplies, travel kit you found helpful? Thanks. Please feel free to sing your answer, Danny. No, no, no.
So, Rosalind, I've never, well, only in Menorca actually, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that you
yeah,
should tell that story
yeah,
because,
but
I
but
mean,
we can end with that. But every anywhere else, I feel I've never been like they've never looked at my bags. The thing is, I always travel. I obviously you can't have it in your carry-on. Like you always have to put paints and whatever you're gonna paint with in your bag. But in your checked bag, I mean. I've I'll be honest with you. I've done workshops all over, and this is me coming from Colombia that they usually look at our bags probably 3 times as much as they do other people's. Trust me, this is true. We don't like to, say it, but this is 100% true. Um, and I've never been stopped. No. Or and and I usually travel with my paints, my medium if I travel with liquid, which we shouldn't do. Like if we are really really supposed to follow everything, every single thing to a T, we can't travel with mediums because mediums usually have some type of solvent in them, and if they have some sort of solvent in them, well, there's solvent-free mediums, but usually if you have some sort of medium, um, if you're traveling with oils, those are flammable. So
you cannot
yeah,
travel with them.
you
Yeah.
can't travel with any of that. Um, so it is perfectly possible if people just at the airport, if they want to give you a hard time, they'll just say, "Hey, you can't travel with that. I'm sorry, and we have to take that away from you." And we can't do anything about that. Um, but I've never really been, in trouble for that. Now, having said that, what happened in Menorca was that I, I am not like how
Planner.
would I describe? Yeah, like I travel, like I'll make my bag
Like,
an hour before I
yeah,
leave.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's terrible. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you do you, but
no, I know. Danny probably
I
has a
freak
heart
out
attack.
every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I'm totally fine because I know the stuff that I need to take, and I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Like I very rarely travel with more things than I need. Danny has like three, she has like three looks for every day,
Oh,
regard,
no.
depending
Oh,
on what happens, maybe in the weather.
no. Oh,
So
you're exaggerating everything.
yeah,
Like, I do pack good. I mean, I pack medicine if I get like sick. I pack enough t-shirts at least.
okay, I'll give you an example.
Oh
We
no.
went we went to get vaccinated to the U.S.
You're no.
Danny packed a swimsuit. And I
But
was
we
like,
were in Miami. I
and I
mean,
was
I was
like,
like, maybe,
and I was like,
fingers
what are you
crossed,
doing?
because I told you
We're pat.
maybe we can go to the beach, and you were like, oh no, like we're gonna go and we're gonna be maybe sick because of the vaccine, and
Yeah,
because I was the one that was getting the vaccine, so
yeah,
yeah, and we didn't go to the beach, but I had the swimsuit. Like, I mean, it doesn't take that much space
yeah. But that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
luggage.
You're
So,
always like thinking, okay,
oh,
that
I'm
maybe there's
prepared.
this possibility,
Yeah.
right? You're prepared for
Oh,
anything.
you're not.
No,
I
well,
mean,
I have
you're like, oh,
no, no,
I
no.
don't bring socks. I didn't bring socks.
Right,
So
right. So,
that's you. Yeah.
but look, in Menorca, so our bags didn't get there,
Oh,
and
and sorry I interrupt you, but it's super funny because I still have the photo.
oh,
Remember
you
that?
do?
Because yeah, we went from Bogota to Barcelona, I think, or Madrid.
No, we
No,
did
Madrid.
Madrid, then Madrid,
Madrid,
Barcelona.
Barcelona, and then Barcelona, Menorca.
Right.
And when we were in the plane, like just before, ¿cómo se dice?
Taking off.
Yeah, taking off to Barcelona, we saw out the window, and I was like, Nicolas, I think that's
Those
our
are our
luggage.
bags. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, yes. And they were only two
Yeah.
bags out there. and we just like flew off and the bags were there. And I told him, but he was like, no, no, I mean, it's impossible that those are us. And
Like it was the
yeah, they
only
were
two bags, and I was like, "Come on,
only
what are the
two. Yeah.
odds?" Like, come on.
Yeah, so go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that probably has to do. I mean, I'm not gonna be an idiot about it, but that probably has to do with us being Colombians, and that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. That's totally fine. We get it. We're used to it, and that's fine. But we got to Menorca, and obviously our bags were not there, and we were like, okay, no, that's probably gonna get. They're probably gonna be here like next flight or whatever. But
But next flight was the next day.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the thing. So
Yeah, but it was next day. But the next day we were starting workshop,
yeah.
and the funny thing was we didn't have any clothes with us, and we didn't have like underwear, nothing.
Yeah, they were super nice
So
and they got us.
yeah, Jorge and Carles
Yeah.
were super nice. They were like, "Don't even worry," and I was like, "What are they talking about? Don't worry." They bought. They went out
Underwear
and they
for
bought
you
underwear for
and for
us
me. Yeah.
and for Danny. It was so funny. It
And
was so
like a
funny.
toothbrush and a shampoo, I think, something like that. I
Yeah, yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
was
were so nice.
hilarious. It was hilarious. I even had so they got me ¿cómo se dicen calzoncillos? Jocks? Like ¿cómo se dicen? ¿Cómo es que se
Cal-
dicen?
no sé,
Yeah.
underwear,
Yeah,
como
yeah,
así.
but sí, pero es que
Like
no
the
me acuerdo cómo.
tight underwears you're trying to say? I don't know how to describe them.
Sí, 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 pero es que no me acuerdo cómo es que se dice. So they got me underwear that I've never had in my life. But I was like, okay, I'm
No, that
rocking
was
these.
amazing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm rocking these. And the same with Danny. So I just loved that they went out and when they were buying underwear, they were thinking of us.
yeah,
I love that.
and they were super worried.
Yeah, I love that they were looking at, a bunch of underwear and they were just like saying, okay, what's their size? Like, do you think they like this?
Yeah.
Do you think we should get them that? I just love thinking about that.
Yeah, and also it was like 10 p.m. So it wasn't that easy for them to go and
Yeah,
like
so
find the perfect underwear for
it
everyone.
was
Yeah.
perfect for me.
Yeah,
It was
it was
perfect
for
for
me
me.
too. Yeah.
I used it. I kept on. It was the only pair that was different from every bit of underwear that I have because I just have boxes like regular boxers.
Do you have it still?
No, no, no. We had to throw it away. It was like disintegrating.
Okay.
That's when I throw things away. Uh,
But okay, we
so
went.
right. So they were like, you know what? Tomorrow, while you're doing the workshop, we'll drive Danny because we were in a house like far off. Like it's super cool to go to Menorca
Yeah.
because they actually tell you that you have to rent a car.
Yeah.
And so all of us, every person that attended, we all had a car rented under our name, and everyone was just like driving there. It was super super nice. You need a car to drive around the island. It was
Yeah.
super cool. Like there was a day.
Also because I remember that there were two like cities, I think. It was
Yeah, like
Mahon and
like smaller.
Citadela, I think it's
Yeah,
spelled, pronounced. And we were like sort of like kind of in the middle of them, like a little bit more near to Mahon, but we were not in the city, so we couldn't like go and take a bus or a taxi.
right, right, right. So
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 yeah,
they were super nice, and they told Danny, no, 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 we'll drive you to the airport, and we'll go pick up the bag.
yeah.
So when Danny got there, they were like, yeah, so here are the bags, but
No, and they were like, "Oh, the red one that was mine. That's fine." But uh they saw something weird on the blue one. Do you know what it is? Like, can you describe what's inside? And like the night before, I've asked you like what, like if they ask me about your bag, what can I say? And he was like, "Oh, maybe I didn't pack that well the oils." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "I think they're on a paper bag and then on a Ziploc bag." And I was like, paper bag, Nicolas. And yeah,
yeah,
like,
they pretty much look like pounds of
no,
cocaine.
no, don't say that.
No, well, that's what they were thinking. That's what everyone's
No.
thinking.
No,
That's
but
what everyone's thinking.
no, but I mean, he packed them terrible. And I told the guard like, "Yeah, that's my boyfriend's luggage." And I
He's
think
a drug dealer.
he no, Nicolas, don't say that. That's not funny. And he said, and I told him like, he packed the oil paints in a paper bag. And he opened the bag and I just saw the paper bag like with the stains of oil.
Very nice.
No, that was
Beautiful.
terrible. Yeah. So, yeah. Worst
Beautiful.
person ever to pack
Yeah.
oils for traveling, but yeah, that's the story. You
So
made it
even
super long.
yeah, yeah, we stretched that one.
Yeah.
But even with even with that horrible packing, um, you know, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. Like they were like they I think they were laughing at the end. They were like, "Oh, when they opened it up, they
Oh no,
realized that
yeah,
there
and he
was
was
nothing."
super
And
nice with me, the guard, I remember. But the other thing, because I was like, oh no, because when we were walking to the room where the bags were, he was like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, Colombia. And he was like, oh, I've seen Narcos,
I told you.
which was a terrible Netflix series. I
Oh,
think it
they a
was
lot of people.
Netflix.
Yeah, most people
Yeah, I
know
don't know
that
if you've seen
series.
it, but yeah, we're not proud of that. And I was like, oh my God, why is he saying this?
I
Like,
know.
we're in the airport and we're trying to see what's suspicious in a bag. And he's telling me
That's why he said
that
it.
he knows my country because of Narcos. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know your boyfriend.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah, but nowadays you pack like in a, what's that? Like a weird Tupperware?
Yeah, I like Tupperware.
Like a
I
sealed,
Yeah,
uh,
I try to be a little bit better about it. Not great still, a little bit better.
yeah. Mm, yeah, they're saying I plan ahead too, Danny. You never know. Yes, Emily. That's the way you should travel, I think.
That's the way you should travel, but
I should travel, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um uh, they're saying I grew up in a household where my mother talked to me in Spanish and I responded in English. The Bronx.
There we go. Yeah.
Here English was limited and so was my Spanish.
So you get to practice.
Yeah.
You get to practice your Spanish here.
And were you sometimes like lost in translation? Maybe? Because that happens to me. I've told you that sometimes, like, and we've talked about this sometimes, that,
Okay.
I mean, you don't have an accent,
Right.
but sometimes you don't know how to say something in English. So you try to do like a direct translation in your brain,
Right, right, right.
and people are super lost on what
Right.
we're saying. So, yeah, I wonder if you got lost in translation sometimes with your mom. Um,
So
oh,
who asked that, Danny? Do you remember?
their name is Gil Robles. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. So he'll where are they from? Like Dominican or Cuban?
Mm, oh, about packing, they're asking, what about the water-based oil mediums? That if you know that if you could travel
Um
with them?
Yeah, you know what people do? A lot of people that travel, you know what they do? They just put there's what's it called? And maybe you guys can help me out here because I've never had to put this out to travel with this, but you could print out the composition or the technical, what is it? The technical notes on the painting. I'm sure that if you Google for traveling with paint, there's bound to be somebody who just shares like a PDF of the letter that you can travel with, just saying that these are, pigments and that this is totally fine. Which again, I feel that it's true, but it's not super super true. I mean, just look at the back of an oil paint, and and look at the restrictions. You can't fly with absolutely anything that's flammable. So in reality, we shouldn't be able to fly with a ton of stuff that we fly with. But that's just the truth. That's not me just making stuff up. But
Oh, so Rosalind says, the one time I had my art supplies picked over, it was leaving Colombia.
what?
um, uh,
Yeah, going to and from Colombia. That'll always get you. So
Uh, it says, they say, it reminds me of a portrait you did of your sister once in the channel.
there we go. So
Her daughter.
this is her daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're super
Oh, they're a
similar.
photocopy,
Yeah. Mm,
cloned.
okay. Have you seen the new Arcane series on Netflix?
No, 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 no. I'm excited to. I mean, I know nothing about League of Legends, but animation looks freaking incredible. I was. Do you remember, Danny? We saw that little bit of that intro,
I
and I
don't
told you it
remember.
was LOL. That I told you it was League of Legends.
Yeah, but I really don't remember.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I could lie and say yes, but I
Yeah, I
really,
know.
really don't remember.
And you probably wouldn't be like. I mean, you would probably watch it, but you probably wouldn't be
You
like
know,
mega
I would
fan.
watch anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm super.
Danny's like, "Oh, Danny, I need to go buy some rubber to fix the tires." And she's already like, "Yes." She's already like stopping the bus. She's like, "Where are we going?" Yeah. She
Yeah.
brings the swim. She's like, "My swimsuit is
No,
ready."
no, no. It's because I like hanging out. I mean, it's a little bit cheesy, but I like hanging out with you. I mean, it's fun even if we go to buy a
Anywhere.
rubber for
Buy a
a.
rubber?
You say of no, that sounds terrible.
Uh-huh.
You said something about a tire.
I don't know. You were saying something about
Nicolas, no,
dongs.
stop it.
So,
They're saying. Mm, now I'm nervous and trying to
I
look for
know.
a question.
Yeah, 1980s wants their condom back.
No, they're saying now rubber. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Um, so Gil Robles, he
See, Gil?
answered and he says, "My parents were Puerto Rican.
Okay, there we go.
Most most all of my family spoke Spanish. It
Yeah.
was my generation who were born in the mainland that spoke mostly English. And have you ever been to Puerto Rico? I'm curious.
I
Mm,
have. I'm Boricua at heart.
what are you saying?
I know.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
Sí, sí, San Juan,
Oh,
sí.
I didn't know.
Conozco, yeah, yeah, it's very beautiful. Super, super beautiful.
Um, and
Borinquen.
uh, uh, uh. ¿Cómo realizaste el primer boceto cuando pintas retratos? ¿Sigues algún método para construir las cabezas?
Uy, pero, ¿quién pregunta, Linda?
Juan
Discúlpame.
MDB.
Juan, lo invito a que mire el comienzo del video, porque creo que no, o sea, hice algo muy precario, o sea, fue algo como súper, súper sencillo. Pero me funciona, es que no es que yo sienta que me siento súper cómodo así, sino que de pronto si me pongo como unos parámetros muy, muy fijos, me cuesta un poco más de trabajo sentirme cómodo pintando. En cambio, si son lo suficientemente abiertos como para que durante la pintura pueda yo ir tomando decisiones como, no sé, que sienta que están construyendo, que están como afectando la pintura, ahí es donde me siento súper tranquilo, como que me siento que estoy pintando. Entonces, esta pintura hoy comenzó, pues incluso era súper difícil ver lo que estaba haciendo, porque pues estaba una otra pintura debajo, entonces no se notaban mucho las decisiones que estaba tomando. Pero me sentí cómodo teniendo ese poquito de información y después pues eres ya modelar con la pintura.
A little question for Nicolas.
Yes.
Have you ever struggled with satisfaction and fulfillment in your art? Do you
Oh,
believe that attaining satisfaction has more to do with gaining skill or with something else?
oh, every day. I don't think that's something that you eventually just kind of check off your list. Like, okay, now I can paint, and then you're suddenly satisfied with everything that you can do. I used to think that that was the case. I don't know if you guys have heard me say how when I was younger and I would watch Steve paint, we're kind of cocky and stupid when we're younger. And I used to be like, oh, I would love if I could just snap my fingers and have Steve's ability. And the reason I would say that was like, yeah, because I'm not gonna, I don't like 100% of the things that he paints, but if I had that ability to paint my own paintings, then it would be so cool for me. So again, like a little idiot, and this was many, many years ago. And I guess what I didn't see back then was that ability's not a thing that just you get there and you plateau and then that's it. I don't think at some point I think that it doesn't become something that you're just you just want to get good at. That you just want to be capable of painting X, Y, or Z thing. I don't know. I think at some point it may start like that, where you just want to say, I just want to construct like a solid head, like like a really cool looking portrait. That's all I want. Um, it may start there, but eventually you realize that that's such a small place to kind of think that everything just stops there, that you start kind of moving the goalpost like a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And it's not to say, I maybe you say, well, I want to now. I don't want to do a head, but I want to do a bunch of them consistently. And maybe you do a bunch of them. You do a bunch of paintings and they are consistent, as consistent as you can make them. You don't have to be amazing. You don't have to be the best painter ever, but you make this thing as consistent as you can make it. And eventually you realize, okay, but that's kind of not fulfilling and, either. What can I do more? What else is there? And you start really, really uncovering these objectives for yourself, which are very different or vastly different from human being to human being. So there's no point in even trying to generalize what an objective would feel like for everyone, because I don't think that that exists. But eventually, you just start putting these weird kind of goals in your path, and sometimes they may have to do with the way you want the painting to feel like. But other times they are so hard to grasp. They become so weird and, kind of amorphous, and you can't, you can barely describe what you want to get out of a painting. It's just like, it's such a strange feeling, but it's so awesome because it becomes like your kind of like the source of your energy to keep pushing. So you'll see that many times these things will transform, and many times we feel like we have everything figured out and we think we know what we want, and then you realize, oh wow, this totally changed everything. Or maybe you go to a show, or you go to a museum, and maybe if it's a painting that you've never seen, or maybe it's a painting that you've seen 100 times, and suddenly you see it under a new light, and it's like life changing, and it just shifts all of your like all of the objectives that you had set out. All of your hierarchies will change. It is so cool. Like, those things are so amazing that at some point you start getting less frustrated by the things that you can't paint, and you realize that maybe it's not about the things that I can or can't paint, because that's, again, that makes painting super finite. Reaching those places can become a thing that's um, it can be hard, but trust me, it's also quite simple in a way. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying that painting is easy. I'm just saying that there are far more wonderful things about painting that have nothing to do how well you can paint something. Like, there's things that are, far reaching, that are beyond just be like capability, or this ability to paint. They're super exciting if you're willing to explore them. So I don't know. For me, it's been understanding the role of painting in my life, and how that has like dramatically changed throughout the years. And I think that that's awesome. I mean, I've met people that go like, "Oh, I liked you better when you didn't think about those things and when you just spoke about painting. Like, you were far cooler back then. Like, nowadays it's like the pseudo philosophy which nobody cares about, and it's a shame because you were once like a painter with a cool potential, and now you just paint for other reasons than picture making, than image making. And I get it. Like, I'm not offended at any of that, to be super honest. I kind of get it. But again, this is my life. It's like my path. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do with their own path in painting. If you are fond of picture making, if that's the reason that you want to paint, if the only thing you want to do is make cool images, oh, by all means, like, kick ass. Like, go and make some of the coolest, most powerful images that people will ever see in their lives. Like, do it. Like, literally, go kick ass. That's awesome. But I don't know. That just I thought that was going to be my life. I really did. But at some point, it just wasn't enough for me. So again, life changes, and we change, and we get older, and our priorities change, and what we want out of life changes, and that's totally fine. So maybe how you see painting nowadays, give yourself the chance to realize that maybe that's all going to change. Maybe it strengthens. Maybe you have a very kind of monolithic, very kind of set way of looking at art, and that's really cool also. And maybe you already know what you like, and you just want to get better at that throughout your life. That's awesome, and honestly, I wish you the best in that path. But maybe life has other things in store for you, and other ways of showing you that this thing that you thought was that was very singular, that was very kind of simple and easy to understand, that was painting, that had that the only thing that you had to worry about was the actual formal qualities of paint, like the how to paint something. Maybe you come to realize that no, that there's like this world that opens up, once you don't really, not not to say you don't care about it. Like, it would be hard or very stupid of me to say, like, oh yeah, I totally don't care about image making when I'm working for a couple of hours now trying to paint an image. No, no, no. It's just that I don't feel that the image is. I think the image is like inevitable. You know that if you're painting, there's an inevitability of encountering an image, but I don't think it's the payoff. I don't think it's where the value lies in. Like, people can, um, people can impose value on an image, and I think as a society that's what we've done, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the value lies in terms of painting. And I know that that sounds kind of weird, but I've those are the questions that I've asked myself throughout the years, and they've brought me here. So who knows where painting will take you? That's completely up to you and your path and your life. And again, that's super, super exciting. You should be very excited to learn where it's going to take you. I think that that's going to be super awesome.
They're being super sweet. They say, your philosophy is one of the things that have made you my favorite painters. They also say, I totally agree. And they say, I like all the thoughts that you share during painting. It's part of the art, I think. There are plenty of quotes, serious painters who don't know what League of Legends and Bayonetta, ¿cómo se dice en inglés?
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta, pero en español es bayoneta.
Pues si quieres, sí.
Bayonetta are. So yeah. Um. Uh. They're saying hi again, Danny and Nico. Back in the day, I've started first painting, and years later, I was progressing with my drawing skills too. Now I'm better drawing than painting. There's some advice on how do I get my painting to not ruin my drawings?
But how do you assess that? I'm curious. Like, how, and I'm sorry that we have to have this kind of broken conversation, but
Yeah, it's Rad Dog. Remember that
oh
he's
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Brazil?
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
But why do you feel that your drawing is now better than your painting? Like, how have you gotten to that decision because I don't know. I think my drawing and my painting go hand in hand. Like I used to understand them super separately. Like the drawing would be either a like a would occupy like a very specific compartment in the in the process of picture making, and or it would be something that I would tie to very specific tools and substrates. So, you draw with a piece of charcoal, you draw on top of a piece of paper, right? And it's very hard to divorce our idea of what a drawing is from those very kind of simple terms. But I kind of see drawing as something far broader now, and I don't see it as something that can, like, it's very hard for me, for example, to separate my drawing and my painting. Super, super tough for me to separate drawing from painting. Um, like you could argue, Danny, for example, today she posted a very beautiful drawing, and it's very
Mhm.
easy to say, "Oh yeah, that's obviously a drawing." Um, but again, we should always ask ourselves why is it so easy for us to say that's a drawing? Like, why do we just nominate that so simply? And the easiest answer is like, well, technique, right? Formal qualities. It's done with a color pencil and it's drawn over, like the substrate is a piece of paper. So, yeah, that answers the question super, super easily. But if you go beyond that, if you go like, okay, but those are like, that's easy, like that's cake, that's the easiest solution. But if we go past that, like, and if we start having kind of more difficult conversations about, for example, about the role of the nature or the nature of drawing in a painting. And let me give you a really tough example. Like for example, Egon Schiele. Like, is that a drawn painting, or is that like a painted drawing, or is that both, or is that neither, or is that different, or do we need another word for that? Like, how would you categorize that? And I know that it's a very kind of simple example, and it's an example that a lot of people use when having conversations about drawing or painting. But you could say the same thing about Munch, or you could say the same thing about Klimt. You could say the same thing about tons and tons of artists, like Cy Twombly, for example. Like, what is Cy Twombly? Is he a draftsperson, or is he a painter, or is he both? Would you be able to dissect exactly where one thing ends and where the other thing begins? It's very tough. It's very, very tough. And the only reason it's tough, it's because we've decided that these words have like very specific meanings, and but we've also recognized that defining them is quite difficult also. So I don't know. They're super cool conversations, but I much rather, instead of me trying to think why, you know, you believe that your drawing is not better, is not as, or your painting was good, but now your drawing is better than your painting, and you're kind of frustrated because your painting has suffered for that. Maybe because drawing has occupied more of a space in your mind, or you've reflected upon drawing a lot more than you have about painting, and you're kind of frustrated of that because of that. You also have to recognize that there's like those things are bound to happen when you shift your focus from one thing to another. It's very hard to keep everything else like in check. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when we think about, let's say in painting, when we think about color, our value may go off. Like, and that's very normal because we are devoting so much energy in trying to reflect upon color that now our values go off, or we're thinking about saturation and our temperature is off. So because we are now concentrating on particular variables, other variables just completely go kind of off kilter. That's bound to happen. That's totally totally normal. So maybe what's happening is a little bit of that, and
So
that's totally fine.
sorry,
Yes. No, dime.
no, he did answer it,
Okay.
and he says,
Like half an hour ago.
yeah, yeah, but I was letting you talk. So
Oh, don't do that.
he says Because everyone gives me that feedback that my line sketches are way better than my final image because somehow I lost stuff in the process. And I totally agree. I don't see any difference between drawing and painting, but for social reasons, I guess it's easier to separate those things, even though they are basically the same.
Right. No, no, no. So I get it. So I think I get it. So what you have is a lot of like super cool energy when you have a sketch or when you have like an idea that is portrayed or displayed through drawing. And when you try to turn it into a painting, it just doesn't work as well as it did on this, seemingly simpler idea that you had. Um, Honestly, that's not you, dude. Like that is so much of painting history. Sometimes there's tons. I mean, I could give you tons of examples of paintings that we are lucky to know sketches of or studies of that are so much cooler than the finished ones because the finished ones have to deal with so many other variables, and many times they're bigger paintings. And the fact that they are bigger paintings, the size alone, the dimensions alone, it means that the way you have to approach that is quite different than the way you would approach a drawing on a very kind of manageable dimension, on a very kind of small size where you can kind of digest the wholeness of an image very, very simply. So dude, it's so much more normal than what you think. It happens so much in painting. I for one, I'm a huge fan of sketches and studies, and many times I'll favor them over finished paintings. Many times I'll favor them. A lot of people love the big finished, paintings because they're obviously super attractive. I mean, they're meant to be these very attractive, powerful images. But if you ask me, many times it's like, I just love a sketch because, like I said, a sketch is always super open. It can be super open, and it can be incredibly inviting. And to translate that into a broader painting sometimes can be very, very difficult.
So when you were talking about my drawing,
Yeah.
Rosalind said, "I loved your post, Danny," and Serene said, "Yeah, it is so good. Thank you both." And
Awesome.
Gil Robles asked, "Where does Danny post her work?" And I like I don't used to post things, but now I'm trying to do it a little bit more regularly, and it's on Instagram. So for you guys that don't know, maybe Nicolas's Instagram or my Instagram, it's on screen. I have both Nicolas and my Instagram handle if you want to go check them out. They're asking, have you two done clay sculpture before? So have you?
Clay sculpture?
Yep.
A little bit. Self-taught though. I mean, not I'm not super I'm not a super talented sculptor by any means. I did a couple of pieces. I think Danny has seen
Yeah.
the woman cow
Yep.
and the no, that's about it. I think I mean, you've seen other pictures, but I think
Yeah.
physically you've seen
Yeah.
that one.
But
I
they're
I would have to
good. I mean,
no,
yeah,
no.
like I think they're good.
But I'd have to say, and I'm not here trying to be kind, but I think Danny has like in terms of three dimensionality, she has like a far better understanding of three dimensionality than
Mm.
me. Like I'll struggle so hard, even just doing the simplest of things. Danny gets it like super
No, but
quickly.
I struggle too. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah. Yeah, but you're talking more like ¿cómo se dice? Como manualidades.
no, like craft or some. Yeah, but
Yeah, because you struggle a lot with crafts.
yeah,
But
but I think it actually goes to, I mean, it speaks about this kind of, I don't know, this difficulty that I have with three dimensionality.
yeah.
So that was my reason for attempting to do sculpture because I knew that it's something that I've always wanted to do. Like I've always said this, and I think it's a little extreme, but I think I mean it every time I say it. I think I question if I'm being just a little bit, if it's a little hyperbolic, but I don't think it is. But I would give up painting any day just to be a sculptor. Like if I had the chance to be a sculptor, I would give up painting like as soon as I can. I think that part of the reason that I love like the statues, like the comic book statues and these kind of toys or whatever you want to call them, it's because they are, to me, they're like statues. They're like sculpture. They're amazing examples of sculpture, and they just happen to be sculptures of things that I love, which is like these characters that I grew up with. But it all goes back to sculpture. Like I've told Danny that there's this dude Simon Lee. It's
Mhm.
Spider Zero in on Instagram,
Mhm.
that I've always wanted to take
Workshop.
a workshop with him,
Yeah.
and I would suck. I know I would suck, but it's so like what he does is so magical to me that I would love that. I would give anything for that to be my life. Again, I'm it's not that I want to throw everything away that I've done, I've worked really hard to try and forge a relationship with painting, and I know that I'm a painter, but I would love to be a sculptor. But I think naturally, I think Danny has like a better understanding of three-dimensionality. I think it's just three-dimension, like very basic three-dimensionality. I think you're super good at that. I think it
Thank
takes
you.
I think my brain just gets super overcomplicated with information. And part of the reason I did sculpture was just to almost show myself that this was very difficult, that I had like tons of voids and things that I thought I knew that I thought I understood and not really.
Yeah, and uh, I've done some clay sculpting before. Remember when we started dating that I was attending to Gabriel's?
Oh right, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was for maybe 2 months, maybe. I don't think
Right.
more than that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, we do have a little hand that I did
And I
here.
broke it.
No, no,
Fuck
no, but
me.
it's fine.
Fuck
No,
me.
no, I glue it and it's fine.
No, I was moving. It was on a mueble.
Uh, Furniture?
Yeah, piece of
Table?
yeah,
It
like
was
a
a table? No,
well,
it
no,
was
it's not
like
a
a
table.
console.
Yeah. And I was just vacuuming, and I moved the whole thing, and Danny's sculpture, because it doesn't have a base. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but it's very kind of fragile, and it was just like there. It just fell to the floor, and
No,
oh
but I
my
told you
god,
it
I
was
felt
okay. I mean,
horrible.
you
No,
felt
I felt
horrible.
horrible.
I know, but that was okay. I mean, and we como digo, super bonder.
Yeah, we super glued it.
Yeah, we super glued it. So
I
everything was
know, but
fine. But
I there's been moments in my life where I feel bad, and that day I felt horrendous. I just really, really felt
no, but
horrendous.
it was an accident. I
I
mean, it
know,
was
but
fine.
still, I felt
No, it was
horrendous.
fine.
Yeah.
But I would love to sculpt more because I think I've done it, but like without knowing. Like I've never, like you said, I've never learned how to do it properly.
Mm.
But yeah, I would love to because I really really love sculpting, and not only clay, but I love wood carving. So
Like whittling, she's super good at it.
well, I'm
I
an
think you are.
empirical. Is it
Yeah.
said like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a technique, but I love doing it. So um, they're saying hello from New Zealand.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
As a young artist who is currently in the process of finishing an art portfolio, the
Nice.
theme being the pandemic. How has this pandemic changed your perspective as an artist? Also, maybe you talked about that a little bit, but
Yeah, a little
maybe a
bit.
little bit more centered in you, like
Yeah.
as an artist,
But as
as
an
an artist.
artist, um I mean, I think I've talked about this a little bit, and yeah, oh, you should see our sky. We're getting like rain like crazy. I mean, the other night, and I'll get to your question, person from New Zealand, New Zealand. Um, but the other night, oh my God, so much thunder and lightning. It just woke us up. It was insane. It was super, super crazy. But anyways, as an artist, how it has affected me, I don't know if my personality got affected too much. I think I was very, very lucky that I could sort of go through this time with Danny. I think that made it a lot easier for the both of us. I think we we learned that we are very good together, like very, very good together. I think that a lot of relationships, a lot of people realized that they weren't good together, like
Yeah.
they were okay just not seeing each other for, you know maybe they worked at different places and they saw each other at night and that was good enough. And that's, maybe they went out to a bar after that and maybe they could deal with each other that way. And that, I'm sure that that's like super tough for people that realize that. But I think for Danny and myself, what we realized is that we're very good together, like really, really good together, almost like annoyingly good together. So,
Yeah.
and like not superficially good together. No, no, no. We're very real. Like we could go into detail as to why we are very, very aware of who we are as people.
Yeah.
But you guys can trust us, like um because of the nature of our relationship. Me being divorced and meeting Danny about a year after I got separated. It's, if you want a lasting relationship, you have to be mature and honest about it. And
Yeah,
we went through that.
that
Like,
was what I told you.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's
I'm just repeating everything
yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
told
yeah.
me.
Now it's
I'm
your
I'm not
knowledge,
taking all the
so
credit there. Yeah, 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 no.
no, 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 but yeah, and I think like we do function a lot, like being 24/7 together. Also because we are super honest. I mean, I think there's nothing that I do or think or say or whatever that you don't know, and vice versa.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, and we love spending time together too. Like, I mean, you can be playing um in the PlayStation, and I'm super happy to be there with you. Or we can be, I don't know, like cleaning the house or whatever, and we always love our companion. So
Yeah.
we
So
really do work
so
together.
it's
So
super corny, but I think that made it easier for us as individuals and as individual artists also. But I think professionally, one thing that was very evident for me, at least, it was questioning like the the roles of the other kind of like institutions, be it the university that I used to work for, or the galleries that I used to work with. Like, I'm not trying um, to throw shade at galleries or art schools or anything, but I just, in my path, and this is my life, I started questioning a ton about why we are so dependent upon these people and these places, these institutions. um, why, if they suffered, then suddenly we have like no other alternatives in life. Like, I'm sure that there were tons of artists that suffered tremendously when their galleries just closed, because some of them like literally had to stop during the pandemic because they had no plans as to how to move work virtually. They just never expected anything like this to happen, and they just weren't ready. So I became very critical of that, because I started telling myself, why do you put your life in the hands of these people and places? And you should be able to be your own artist, regardless of what happens. You should be able to be responsible for your own actions and your future when the moments like these happen. Um, but why were you not prepared, and why were the galleries not prepared? And and it wasn't a thing about saying why are you not prepared, then you just sit and stare at the ceiling and do nothing about it. It was like a thing where I told myself, okay, maybe we weren't prepared, but what are we going to do about it? And we were lucky, I guess, in the sense that it coincided with our project. So it was very, very strange to feel that the world was leaning um, towards kind of like virtuality,
Yeah.
and we were also making that transition. We had also been planning on making that transition for the last like 6 months.
Yeah.
So in a very strange way, like our mind was ready for it.
Yeah.
Like we were completely prepared for doing that. But it didn't come as a reaction of what was going on, in terms of the pandemic. It came off as a reaction, way before that, where I was very critical of the faculty that I used to work with, and I was critical of how galleries had evolved, had transformed throughout the years, where rosters are getting bigger and shows are getting shorter. So it's you're bound to be swallowed by this list, this enormous list of artists, where I mean, there are directors that are wonderful people, I'm sure, and they do care about every single artist that they have in their roster, but it just makes it so difficult for them to start caring about each individual, life that is part of that gallery, that what's inevitable is that they just can't deal with the fact that so many people are dependent on them. And uh and I don't know, that just really made me think a ton about um how things work in the art world, and how we are ultimately affected by decisions that are not, you know on that we can't, manage, that we have no say in. So yeah, for us, it was very, like, we were ready, and it was traumatic. I feel, because I don't think it wasn't traumatic for anyone, but in a very, very strange way, we were like, okay, we're kind of ready for this emotionally, and we're ready for this, like, physically. Like, we had been, like I said, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not, like, Danny is listening to this, so it's not like hyperbolic, but
Yeah.
we were getting ready for for our transition for months.
Yeah.
So yeah, so even like the nature of what we were doing, or what we were painting, it had a social aspect to it. Like, we were gonna do it because we wanted to share with people, um, the willingness to just open up and start creating these kind of dynamics, where it wasn't just like a one-way street, where you would just painting, and people would then consume your painting just by observing it. But it was now suddenly this channel where we would voice our thoughts, where we're thinking out loud throughout, this weird kind of moment. That was all part of it. So I don't know. I think that strangely we were just, um, we were super lucky that
Yeah.
we had a lot of tools that unknowingly we were kind of preparing ourselves to use. Uh, and sadly, there was a moment in time where, unfortunately, we had to, not just us, but everyone else had to start to make that transition. So again, super sad. It feels weird to say that it was luck. It feels terrible to say that, we were ready for anything like that, because the truth is, it's not. Like, it's a tragedy. It's a worldwide tragedy. So yeah, and not all of it was good. Remember, like, in my case, I have two kids, so we, our dynamic with Danny was just now understanding that Samu and Fer were, you know, we were completely dependent on us for education, like completely dependent um because schools are schools, but in the end it's your kid. And um and we saw like the social impact it had on their lives, and it's
Yeah.
like it just crushes your soul when you see your kid, you know, just questioning so many things and transforming their their social interaction in so many weird ways. Fed was horrified. I remember one of the first times that she went back to school eventually, because she told me, I don't think my friends will remember me. I don't think, my friends will know that we were friends.
Yeah, and she was sad. I remember that the first day, I don't know if you remember this, but she was crying because
Mm.
she couldn't hug her best friend.
Right, right. She
Yeah,
saw
it
so
was
many people that she
so
hadn't seen,
sad.
but she couldn't touch them.
Yeah, she was so sad.
Yeah, so this is horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, I know that it's pertinent to speak about our experiences as artists, and that totally makes sense. I mean, that's who we are, that's our profession, or, that's our sensibility. But yeah, but on a human level, my God, this was, I mean, it's life changing. I just, I don't know. I hope that when I talk with my kids, 10, 15 years from now, like this is, I'm very curious to see how they'll be able to remember this, and when they have like the maturity to speak about how they were affected by this, like it's going to be, I think it's going to be horrible to listen to those stories, like to now listen to adults saying how, how empty they felt or how vulnerable they felt, or it's going to be tough. It's going to be super, super tough.
Um, when they asked about sculpting,
Yep.
they're saying super cool to hear about because it would be really interesting how your 2D experiences slash design sense might translate to 3D sculpting too. Your wood carvings are so cool, Danny. Thank you so much. And yay for the glue. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to look for more questions. Mm,
So I'll say a little bit about um, where I'm at. I've been tempted to maybe get in here a little bit more, but there's just such a nice, simple attitude to the portrait. I feel. I don't know how it reads in the
it's
on the
cool.
screen,
And you know, I'm
Danny.
sorry, but you
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
know what's super cool? The painting that was behind, like the light, like the because it looks like light, like a purple light.
Oh, cool.
So maybe here, I don't know if you can turn a little like this.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
that
yeah, I
bit
was
of
going to tell you that please don't touch it. Please. And
yeah,
also over here
right.
because it looks like if light was
Kind of filtering
yeah,
through.
I was going to say filtrating. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is that
yeah,
okay?
that's filtrating. No,
Filtering?
no
Okay.
filtering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah.
but people would have understood you,
Yeah.
so that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm happy that I didn't initially think that I was going to be able to use a lot of the painting that's behind, but as soon as I realized that I could start hinting at some yellows with the hair, and that there was violet behind it, it just looked cool. It
Yeah,
just
it's
looked
super
really,
cool.
really cool. I think that I fuck. I'm ruining my microphone. But I put paint on everything. Um, but I think I lost the shape of hair. I mean, that I have to acknowledge. I got so caught up in like the fluttering of the hair, maybe, that I think I just lost completely the like a bigger kind of shape of the hair. Um, and I'm struggling to see if I'm okay with that,
but
or I'm struggling to see if I just don't know how to make it better. I just don't know if I can make it a lot better.
but I mean, you feel that, but I was thinking that I love the hair. I mean, it's not because I'm not telling you this because we're live, but I really do like the swirling on the
Yeah.
hair. I think it's super cool, and I think it is still like a big form.
Okay. I
That's what
just
I think. I mean,
thank you.
I don't see that much detail. Like
Yeah.
it's detailed, but like suelto.
Okay. Like loose.
Yeah, like loose. So, but that's me. I mean,
No,
that's how
thank you.
I see it. So,
Yeah, thank you. It's I don't know. I think I always kind of struggle with hair in that sense that I just I try to hold on to bigger ideas of hair, but I'm also super tempted by all these like little and they are kind of they can become like incredibly seductive traps, um, where you just see like a tiny little highlight or just a little strand of hair kind of flowing, and it's just an invitation to follow that little bit. But sometimes they're so out of context that they just look ridiculous. So I don't know. I was hoping I'm hoping that I was able to hold on to bigger like slightly bigger ideas enough so that this almost feels like it almost feels like a coat, like a really, that's why I was saying like feral, like she feels like a beast, but it's almost like this coat that turns into her hair. That would be like a super cool design,
yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that's almost like buttons that eventually turns into
Yeah.
buttons, or like a zipper.
Yeah,
No,
that would
like a
be cool.
zipper would
But that
feel
would be
stupid.
cool.
Yeah, but that could be like super cool for a character. um it's oh, there's this character in Earth X. I don't know if I'm being like super weird granular now, but I forget who she is. She's one of the Inhumans, I
So,
feel.
let me
You should try to search Inhumans hair. Who is she? I think she's one of the Inhumans. She's got
so
like
maybe this one?
she's got like big ass hair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she's super cool. And when Jean Paul Leon drew her for Earth X, oh, it's so cool. Like her brows, and I guess that was like an Alex
Oh,
Ross.
maybe oh, but this one's super
Yeah, that's
small,
the
but
Alex Ross, but that's the Alex Ross design, because I think Alex Ross and Jean Paul, they both designed the characters for like the reinterpretation of the characters for Earth X. And her character, the her brows just kind of flow into her hair, and she's got like this enormous hair that's like super super cool. Anyways, that was like a little detour, so I apologize. But um but yeah, so I think I was happy at some point. I kind of like let my imagination go, and I was like, oh, this could be cool. Like, it's not just hair, but because it's kind of cropped this way, it can also be, you know, you can also start feeling that it's far more organic, so I thought that that could be interesting, I guess. um
so Anania says, "Did you hear the question chicken or salad on the last video, Danny?" Yes, we did. The pizza or salad.
yeah,
Remember that
yeah,
I showed you?
yeah,
Yeah.
we heard it, and
Yeah, it was
it was too funny.
yeah.
We just were super not aware that
Yeah.
that a stream would pick up our local audio,
Yeah, because
like our computer's audio for some reason.
yeah, and as we said, we don't have an output. So it was super weird for us because we weren't listening, but you guys were. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was beautiful, beautiful moment,
Yeah.
because we were totally lost.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing, Danny, that you were like, wait a minute, because I heard that.
No,
Why are they
no, no,
commenting
no,
on
because
something?
I didn't heard anything because I don't
Oh,
have
oh, right,
any
right. You can't.
output.
Yeah, you couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even looking at the ad. I
Oh,
mean, I was
okay.
waiting for it to end so I could see the James Gurney video.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so I was
Oh,
like,
that's hilarious.
what are
Then,
they
yeah.
talking about? Like I read the first comment and I was like, what is
I just thought it was
what is
like
he
an.
talking about?
Yeah, I just thought it was like an inside joke.
Yeah,
That's why I
and
told you,
everyone
like.
started commenting like, "Oh yes, pizza or salad, haha pizza." And I was like, "What is going on?" I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, our ignorance,
Yeah.
streaming ignorance.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, OBS, we understand, I think, the bare
Yeah.
minimum with OBS.
Yeah.
I mean, and we are, it was like a YouTube video and that was it. So we kind
No,
of,
but I spent like um I was gonna
what,
yeah.
months?
No, 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 no. Like an afternoon,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then I realized that's not that much.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, yeah. We know just the basics. But
Right. So we need to get a little bit better, but honestly, if we learn it while we're streaming with you guys, I think it's fine.
yeah, that's cool.
I think it's fine.
They're saying it was a happy accident.
There we go.
Yeah, it was. They're saying so off topic. What is that hat you always wear? The B flat top one. I would love it, and I want one. I love it,
Oh,
and I want one.
so Danny can let you know what this is.
Yeah, so that's the brand. No, no se
No?
ve. A ver, espera, quítatela y ponla. Yeah, no, un poquito más abajo. Toca. Yeah. So that was the brand of the last bar where I was a bartender, and they gave it to me. I think in the first anniversary of the bar, and I brought it home. And every cap that I bring home is Nicolas's possession now.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, but they're not available for buying them if you were interested. But yeah, that was the brand, like the logo of the bar. It's called Bandida del 402.
Yeah, that sounded terrible.
Yeah. Um.
I think I'm okay, you know?
Okay. With
Yeah, I think so.
with the painting.
Yeah, I
I
think
didn't
so.
know what you were
Oh,
talking
yeah, no,
about.
I'm
Like
okay in
I
my
feel
life.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
I was like,
okay. Yeah, I
okay,
feel, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
super cool.
No, yeah, you're like, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm even like her cheekbone actually comes further and her jaw is a little bit sharper and then her chin kind of comes in front of that jaw that tucks in underneath. I see all those things, but and I'm going to try to make an argument for why I'm kind of leaving some of those things as this very kind of soft edge because I feel that I mean maybe it doesn't matter, but I feel that because she is softer, she just feels more prone to become this. It almost feels like it makes more sense for her to become this bit of hair. And I also there. I mean, you can barely see it, but I can see it, and maybe you guys can spot it. Like these are easy. I'll point them with the tip of my brush. These are super easy because these are the ones that Danny was pointing out that come from the painting that was underneath. And I love them. I love
Yeah.
these. I think those are great.
The little one.
There are
Yeah,
little bits
that
that
one.
that are here
That's
are that are
super
so
cool.
cool. There's a little bit there that's so cool. And the thing is, there are tiny little moments where that painting is breathing in here. As soon as I start painting and cleaning this edge, they're all gone. They're all going to be gone. So it's the same reason why I left that scratchy bit there. That's a moment where I acknowledge, hey, a lot of the painting, a lot of the air that's surrounding the painting, it is going to shine through. I want it to shine through. Like there's, these are like tiny little, very organic devices that you can use in your painting to say, hey, I want this to happen in my painting. This was not an accident. This wasn't just haphazard, painting. This is actually there's thought to the execution of the painting. It may not be like the deepest, thought process, but it's very sensible thought. You're being super connected with what you're doing, and I think that that's amazing. So those little moments, for example, a lot of the violet that comes through here, even here, like, and those little bits of blue, I think they're wonderful. I think they're super, super cool. Those were the ones that prompted me to push the blue in here, and I actually pushed some of the red down here. And so there's various reasons for me not to want to just clean this up because as soon as I have to paint it, it's all gone. Like if you cover it up, if you're painting on a substrate that has information, or a an older painting, or if you have an underpainting that you want, you want it to be powerful and you want it to, kind of shine through your painting, you have to learn something. And this is like a super tough lesson to learn, which is once you cover it, it's over. You can never get that kind of fresh feeling back. If I had covered this little bit, I could scrape the hell out of the painting on top of it, and I would never get it back. Never, never. And I guess that's like the risk reward bit of painting on top of like information. I call it information. It could be of many many natures, but the reality is that there is stuff underneath there that has like a specific quality, personality, and ideally you want some of that you know, to show in your painting, because if you picked that surface, it was for a reason. If you picked it just to cover everything up, it's like, okay, but why did you pick it then? Like you could have done without it if you really wanted to. Um so I think that those moments are teaching me, hey, stop. Maybe, sure, you could develop the painting further, or you could be a little more faithful with this form, or you could push the likeness a little bit better. You could maybe understand the how the cheekbone turns, or how the jaw turns in space. But if you do that, you're going to be sacrificing other aspects of the painting. So sometimes, and even though we may be completely enamored by form, sometimes form doesn't have to be the end of our painting. It doesn't have to be the goal of our painting. Even though it is the thing that we enjoy the most, for example, in my case, like I absolutely adore form. So even though that's kind of like the reason for me to paint, it doesn't mean that it has to be my North Star with every single painting. It doesn't. Sometimes paintings can, while you're executing it, they can take you somewhere else, and they can be like, hey, I know that you love to paint the nose. Like, for example, that shadow mask, I left it as is. And the lips, I was so, wanting to develop those lips. But the harder I felt, the harder I thought that the portrait would look if I pushed the development, like the further development of those features, then the bigger the separation there was going to be between that portrait and what was very organic about the hair. So I think I ended up sacrificing that, or deciding that this was all just going to be like this enveloping atmosphere. Like she's almost one with her atmosphere and one with the hair. And it's not like her skin is any different than the hair that's suddenly growing out of it and becoming like all these things. It's like there is only one nature to her, which is, which I kind of feel that that's cool. Like imagining those things, I feel is awesome when you're painting, because ultimately it's your painting. You can just you can say whatever the hell you want in your painting. This is about you and what you want to say. So if you get excited about something, do it. Then push it. Never be ashamed of it. I'm never ashamed to push ideas that, even when I try to express them, they feel dumb. But if in my mind I'm like, hell yeah, that's super exciting, I'm going to give it a shot. At least I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to, grant myself the right to give that a shot. Does that mean that the painting's going to be amazing? Probably not. More often than not, it just means that it's maybe a failed experiment, or maybe just an exercise, and that's fine. But I gave myself, the chance to see if it worked. And that's what I'm thinking with all of this that's going on today. I feel that it's kind of cool. I thought that I was going to be able to design. My go-to is usually like organic, but then super geometric shapes. And I think I kind of navigate form that way. I'll just push the geometry of a shape, and then I'll just find ways to soften it up, and I'll simplify, and then I'll put some detail. And I think in this one, it just evokes more texture maybe than what I'm used to. Again, keyword here, evokes. I don't think I'm able to really develop what that hair feels like. I think it's all almost like an enunciation of what is the underlying kind of nature of that hair. But I liked it. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, and it also speaks about my inability to do this in other ways. But instead of thinking that my inability is an obstacle, it's almost like saying, okay, I know that I can't really, paint hair that feels like hair. Whenever I see hair in my paintings, it's almost like it looks like painting. I always feel like, oh, that's super cool because it feels like a painting, but I'm always like, ah, fuck. But it just doesn't, it's almost like, but it kind of doesn't feel like hair. It always feels like something very abstract, very different. So I don't know. That's probably shortcomings that I have as a painter. It probably has to do with my draftsmanship, whatever. But um, you still, you can still use those things where you're not super good at and say, doesn't matter. Like, I'll make it work. I'll try to find, another way. I'll try to make my painting about something else because you have to be intelligent about it. You can't make a painting about something that you're not good at because then you're just going to be pointing at, your painting is just going to be a big finger pointing at the things that you're insecure about or that you don't know much about or that your ability is not there yet and you're just incapable of like fully articulating what you want to say. So why do that? Like, that's kind of dumb if you think about it. No, you should always, yes, strive to work better. And if you have if you recognize something that is that is something that your painting lacks, a quality that your painting lacks, and that you are interested in exploring, then yeah, for sure, go for it and try to work hard to get better at it. But there's still, I mean, you could work your whole life and you're never going to be able to cover all your bases and to say, yeah, I've finally become the painter, the integral painter that I wanted to be. I'm good at everything. No. There's no painter exists that can be that good. But what you can do, while you're working to be better is to say, well, I have to be mindful of these things because I'm not really good at them, but I can make my painting about something else that I really find exciting. And I think that that's a very, you know, human way of approaching painting, and it still gives you enough to say, I know what can excite me about this and I know what I can push, and I'm still going to be challenged because it doesn't mean that it's going to suddenly become an easy painting to do. And it's gonna be fun, ultimately. Honestly, for me, painting, it has to be fun and exciting. I have to finish my paintings and say, okay, that was a cool day, that was actually really nice. If I don't, even if I struggle, but if I don't say, wow, this was a cool moment or a cool instance of my painting, I always go to bed feeling like, why the hell did I paint that? Like, what was the purpose? Just to make my life miserable? Like, it doesn't make sense. So anyways, that was a long-winded way to finish. Yep. Yeah.
Pues para
No,
finalizar.
not yet.
Okay,
But that
sorry,
was a
sorry.
very long-winded way of culminating this painting today. So, if we have final thoughts or questions
Yeah,
that
so
maybe,
they were saying the painting is looking awesome, by the way. I love the
thank you.
mouth and the hair.
Oh, thank you.
And they say, beautifully painted again. And I'm so happy to be present while it was created.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And
It was cool to try and solve it with you guys also
they're
while we
ask
were just talking about stupid stuff.
they're asking, is there an OPL T-shirt or hat?
No, we don't have
No, there's
merch.
not. But
No, we
but if
can't deal. We can't do
no,
merch.
but you know what? If we
What?
do, we should do a hat. I mean,
Oh
because
yeah,
you,
that'd be cool.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
like yeah,
But you know what the problem is?
doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
no, doing we can do it, but
Shipping it.
shipping is so
Yeah.
ridiculous from Colombia that it's pointless.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, the only way it would be like if, for example, my brother would ship the things for Ben. Well, I can't do that to my brother. Like he's busy. He has his family. He's busy enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would love to just.
But if we maybe have someday like merch, I don't know how to call that. Oh yeah, they're saying OPL merch. Merch and a face with stars in the eyes. But yeah, if we do, I think we have to have a
Oh,
hat,
a hat would be,
like
yeah,
a
go to.
1000%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, go to.
yeah.
Yeah, so
But yeah, we don't.
yeah, not in our plans. We are refusing to receive money.
But Liad says print on demand. You won't make much, but you won't have to deal with printing and shipping.
Okay, so I'm sure. Yeah, maybe there's stores that can you know, deal with those things for you.
Yeah, but for
So
now we
yeah,
don't have that in plans.
no, no,
But we
we're
will let you
you
know.
know, we're so simple. Like if it's too complicated, we're always like, no, that's too much. But we much rather just do what we do well, you
Yeah.
know. So we, if what we're doing is these videos, then that's what we're going to try to put like our heart and soul into, and that's that's it. That's it. And if through that we can just say, hey, we're going to try to sell this painting, which is what we do. Like, this is how we make a living. So in a couple of, half an hour, I'll post this painting to our webpage, and whomever feels, it was they want it because it's a cool reminder of today's, video, or they just feel it's like a cool image or a cool painting. That's awesome. Like, honestly, that's what I don't know. That's what we've kind of fought for, just for painting to become accessible, not only in the sense that people that used to not buy paintings can buy paintings now, and paintings hopefully that have a pretty cool quality to them, but also accessible in the sense that you kind of demystify painting, and painting is just a thing that we can do while talking and hanging out and just having like a good afternoon. And I think that that's super super cool. And the way we kind of approach our channel, and the way, like, even the way Danny and I talk while we're doing the live videos, this is the way we are. Like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Nothing nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna get.
Yeah, like terrible jokes.
Yeah, bad jokes,
Yeah.
and yeah, and knowing that Danny can't sing. That's about it. But anyways, we're just gonna anything else, Danny? Maybe.
No, they were saying I'm a bit wishing on a star for merch in the future. And they say hat with circle and triangle. Yeah, that
Yeah.
for sure would be
Yeah,
the
always
hat.
remember, I'm the big red circle.
And
I'm
I'm
like
the
the fair
happy triangle.
fair skinned little ball
And
that
I'm the
is
super smiling triangle.
yeah, and yeah, with my glasses, and Danny's just a bouncing triangle of light. She's always just excited about everything. So
Yeah,
uh
and they're saying I'd buy every one of your paintings if I could afford it.
oh, thank
Heart
you.
and soul comes through every time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for all both of you do. Sorry, I was so like I interrupted myself with every word. So thank you so much for all both of you do. That's what
No,
I was trying to say.
thank you. Thank you so much. So again, congratulations to Rajita. Rajita
No, a little bit
Tipavashala.
lower because
Um,
oh yeah.
Rajita Tipavashala. Rajita, you're getting the Aldous Huxley. That's awesome. And AJ, whom we really, really love. AJ, just to
Yeah.
tell you guys, AJ has been donating
Every month.
every month for,
Yeah, she's so sweet because
so long. And I don't think she's ever won a
no,
painting.
I don't think so.
So
But
this is
since we
super
start
cool.
the raffles,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
every month, the
Yeah,
first
she's
day of every
amazing.
month,
Yeah,
she
she's amazing.
donates $20.
I know,
So
she's
she's
incredible. And
so
she
so
is like
sweet.
one of the sweetest, warmest persons that I've ever met in my life. She really is like genuinely a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy.
No, a little
And
bit lower.
the one painting that AJ, do you know, Danny, that the one painting that AJ has
Yeah.
is one of Fer. Do you remember that spoken painting week?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So she
remember.
got the one of Fer,
Yeah.
and she bought that one, yeah,
Mhm.
which was awesome. Because I always thought that spoken painting week was one of the stupidest ideas I've ever had.
What? No, I
And
think it was a
I know,
super
I think it
cool
was cool,
week.
but I thought it was like so dumb.
No,
And I was
like
like,
why dumb?
nobody's gonna,
I mean,
who buys a painting
without
when you
knowing.
don't, when you've never seen it?
But that was
And
super
that was
cool.
incredible. I thought that was
Yeah.
super cool
Yeah.
too.
I think it was
Um,
like Risk
Yeah,
maybe, but
yeah,
it was super cool. I
yeah. It
like
was
that
it
wig.
was nice.
If
But
you like,
AJ has that fer, so I'm super happy that she has this fer also. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
yeah,
Are we good?
yeah,
Okay. So thank you guys. You were awesome.
yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Where yeah, what I described as just picking something and kind of abstracting it and just having maybe that be the focal point, not the focal point, but I don't know, making that the
Essence of the painting,
man,
just
not
the
that, not essence, because
center
I
of
don't.
the painting,
Well, just a
protagonist.
point of reflection.
Okay,
A moment that bears reflection. I would
okay.
say, um, can be interesting. So that's I don't even know what we're gonna do tomorrow, but now that I've kind of pigeonholed in myself into saying that that's what this week is about, then maybe I'll try to find other ways to push this. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. I think 2 o'clock Eastern time again. So
No, it's 2:30 Eastern.
no, 2 o'clock.
But
Because remember that daylight savings.
okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
two
it's
o'clock.
better for us at 2.
Yeah, okay.
So okay.
So
So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.